From across South Africa, we gather here today, united in our mission to rescue our country, getting South Africa working. We are a party of government that delivers, a party of strong opposition, of progress and innovation, a party of freedom, fairness, opportunity and diversity. We are activists, councillors, mayors, MECs, premiers, MPLs, members of parliament, ministers in cabinet, deputy ministers and professional staff. We are the Blue Machine. We are gathered in the economic heartland of our nation. We are the thin blue line guarding our democracy and guarding our country's future. And now, for the first time ever, at a DA Federal Congress, a party of national government. Delegates, Democrats, South Africans, welcome to the Democratic Alliance Federal Congress 2026.
Molweni, Sanibonani, Goeiemorgen, good morning, and welcome to the Democratic Alliance 2026 Federal Congress. We're coming to you live from the Gallagher Convention Center in Johannesburg. My name is Donovan Deboyki van die Kaap, and my co-host for the next 2 days is the amazing, the beautiful Delegates.
Thank you, Donovan. My name is Delegates, all the way from Atteridgeville in Tshwane, in Gauteng, the host province for this Federal Congress. And we have a lineup that is full of exciting things, and as well the election of the new DA leadership. And most importantly, everybody is excited to see who our new federal leader is going to be. And we're going to be bringing it to you right here live, so stay tuned.
Absolutely, that's right, Delegates. Over 2,000 delegates have gathered here. They are ready to kickstart the Democratic Alliance 2026 Federal Congress. Throughout the next 2 days, we'll be adopting constitutional amendments of the party. We'll be discussing key policy resolutions to take South Africa forward. And most importantly, we'll be voting for our new federal leadership.
I mean, in taking South Africa forward, the theme for this Congress is getting South Africa working. I mean, we were here 3 years ago. We said we're going to rescue South Africa. Now we're getting South Africa working, and we're going to do that through our municipalities, because where the DA governs, the DA delivers. And that's what every single citizen in municipalities actually deserve.
Absolutely, that's right. Well, just this, the DA-run Western Cape has created more than 500,000 jobs in the last quarter. That is 80% of all the jobs created in South Africa, and that is the DA difference for you.
I mean, Donovan, the DA is actually fighting youth unemployment in the Western Cape. It's not the same everywhere else in South Africa. Maybe I need to move to the Western Cape. But if we go and we look at different municipalities where the DA governs, you go to Kouga in the Eastern Cape, you go to Midvaal in Gauteng, and you go to Umgeni in KZN, and you really get to see the difference that is happening there. All those citizens get to realize the DA difference and get service delivery, and which is the most important thing leading up to these elections.
Absolutely. Well, that's the DA difference for you in action. It's creating jobs, growing the economy, and making sure that we can change the lives across South Africa.
I mean, Donovan, you said there's over 2,000 guests here, delegates, and I mean it's packed. It is really packed for everyone at home. Everybody's filling up to their respective provinces, getting their way, making their way to their seats. They have registered. I mean, it's going to be exciting. The atmosphere is electric in here, and we are looking forward to what this Congress has in store for all of us and you at home.
Absolutely, you can be part of the discussion, so please make sure that you like and share this broadcast. Comment in the comment section if you have any questions to our panelists on here, and make sure that you share this broadcast with hashtag DA Congress 2026.
And to help us unpack the beginning of our Congress, we have two important guests that I'm going to welcome into studio. Can they please come through? Because there's a lot to go through, but we're going to set the tone. And remember to continue with the conversation by using hashtag DA Congress 2026. And I will be introducing Werner Horn, who is our first presiding officer for this Congress, and Leolom Piti, who's a Congress spokesperson and a member of Parliament. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us in studio and starting the morning with us and the rest of South Africa at home. How are you feeling about this Congress, Werner?
Oh, excited. The day has arrived. It's been months of preparations.
Yeah.
And as you say, the delegates are pouring in. They're registering with ease, and very soon the hall will be filled.
Come on, come on.
I mean, and Leola, how are you feeling about this Congress?
I mean, firstly, all I can say is, aye. I mean, it's an incredible time, Lady Donovan. I mean, it's so amazing to be here. I mean, you can feel the environment, the energy.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited. Everybody's ready to get the day going. But I mean, there's so much happening, and just to see everybody here in Gauteng is really a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Werner, you are one of the presiding officers. Please explain to us and our viewers at home, what is Congress?
Yeah, so Federal Congress is, of course, firstly our supreme policy-making body.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that when Congress is not in session, we don't make policies, but this is the opportunity once in every 3 years when our delegates arrive from all over the country, every province, every village, every dorpie, the metros too. And then we deal with policy resolutions, 22 of them on the agenda for this Congress.
Wow.
And then, of course, maybe some will say it's more important, we elect leadership. And that's has been, in each of our previous federal congresses, a defining moment, a launch pad for next phases in the growth of the DA, and we look forward to making that happen again today.
And I mean, that's such an important thing.
Absolutely.
And as Werner has said, I mean, this is setting the agenda, even going into the 2026 local government elections. So I'm looking forward to the election of the leaders, of course. And I think everybody at home is as well. But Leola as well, what are you looking forward to for this weekend?
Well, I think I agree with Werner completely. I mean, you know, 3 years ago when we were at this moment in 2023 having our federal Congress, we did not know that we would be in the government of national unity. And so looking forward 3 years later, it is a very exciting time because, guys, who knows? We could be electing the next future president of the country in this Congress happening this weekend. So it's a very exciting time, and I think all of us here realize the significance of this moment, a moment where the DA is defining itself, moving forward, but of course seeing really leaders that have really been there, holding the fort in Helen Zille and Steenhuisen, who are stepping down in this particular Congress, opening the door for new leaders that will take us to national government, outright victories. That's what we believe. That's what we know is going to happen.
That is the spirit.
And I mean, just behind me, I mean, the energy, it is so electrifying. It's so clear to me that this party is ready to get South Africa working. Now, just to the both of you, Leola and Werner, what are some of your predictions for the 2026 local government elections?
Well, one should never make predictions because then you might fail. But let's say what we're working for is to attain majorities in a very large, greater number of municipalities than ever before, because we know our ability to really improve the lives of people, to get things working, depends on firstly getting a majority.
Absolutely.
Where we can't, we want to be the biggest party so that we can, if not control, be an important role player, the backbone of a trustworthy coalition. Because that's also what we've learned over the last few years, is that not all coalitions work. And look, the reality is that at the moment, partly because of where other parties have failed, but partly, of course, because we are the only party with a record of exemplary service delivery.
Come on.
We are on our way there.
Come on. I love that. Leolo?
Well, I think firstly, it's completely agree with what Werner is saying, but we want South Africans to know we want outright victories in this coming election. Because this election, Democrats, is about what you do when you get home, when you're flashing the toilet, when you switch on the light, when you drive on the street, when there's a pothole, when your street lights don't work. That is local government. And we need to make all South Africans understand that you need to register, because this election is about a government that is in your face. It's about the person you deal with when you are in trouble. It's about the champion you need to fight for you. And the DA is that champion. We've seen it in Ngeni, in KZN. We've seen it in Midvaal. We've seen it in the city of Cape Town. We've seen it in the Western Cape. And we will see it when we elect in Johannesburg, Helen Zille in November.
I mean, this is just what it is. For our viewers and our voters at home, this is about basic service delivery. It's everyday issues and problems. And I mean, even with that, I mean, we have to ask Werner, there are so many people who know the DA as a federal leader, but they might not know what all the other positions are. And if you can just break down to our viewers at home.
This is an exam, it's an exam to the presiding officer.
John, and break it down to everyone to say, hey, these are the positions that are up for grabs, and give a bit of details about what those positions are.
Let me say 80% is the pass mark.
Look, I'll try and get all of them right, because as you say, it's complex. So during Congress, as a matter of fact, last Thursday already, our Federal Council elects its leadership. Those results will be announced tomorrow. And our Federal Council has a chair and 3 deputy chairs. And importantly, very importantly, for any party who's serious about internal governance, is a federal finance chair.
The money guy.
Who holds the purse. So those have been elected. The votes have been cast, but they're kept in secret. We will learn tomorrow who's been elected. And then Congress, the bigger body, the 2,100 delegates, of course, elects our federal leader, the person who will set the agenda for the next 3 years.
Very important.
Along with the federal chairperson, who in terms of our constitution, in a way deputizes for the leader when the leader is not available, but also has a very important role internally to play to make the party healthy. And the federal chair also has 3 deputy chairs who are also to be elected tomorrow morning, very early, 6 o'clock. Democrats get up early to vote.
Come on.
I mean, I guess we're getting up very early, but as well, nobody's going out tonight to any campaign party.
No, we're not.
We have to vote. We've got an important job to do tomorrow.
Now, I want to come briefly to this particular point. I mean, this marks the end of John Steenhuisen's leadership as the federal leader of this party. What is the legacy that he leaves behind? And perhaps, Lolo, you can start with this question.
Well, I mean, you know, when we look at what John Steenhuisen has been able to do in the party, he's taken us through a Rubicon where we are now in the government of national unity. This is happening for the first time ever for the Democratic Alliance. His fierceness, his tactical leadership, his leadership that he's given the party in the parliamentary caucus in Parliament. We have seen a leader who served this organization, who's given the best of himself to the organization. So we can only be proud and we can only say thank you to the leader that John has been in this organization. He took over a party in 2019 that was said to have been falling apart and redirected us. And now as we stand here, we have ministers that are working each and every day for South Africans, making sure that we are fighting for them and we are pushing for them.
Absolutely. I mean, Werner, I want to get to you now in a second, but we do have some word that our man on the ground, Mr. Bax Nodada, is having a ball of his life there. Mr. Bax, over to you, sir.
Hi, my name is Brian Tromp. I am a small-scale farmer here in Midvaal Municipality. This is my farm. I worked as a paramedic, saved up money, and I managed to acquire this land. After acquiring the land, I wrote a proposal to Midvaal Municipality asking for assistance for farming equipment. So the Midvaal Municipality came to my rescue when they drilled a borehole because we needed water, because we didn't have water at all. So after the municipal had intervened, that's when our life changed, whereby we managed to employ more people, managed to produce more crops on the farm. I just want to say thank you to Midvaal Municipality and the DA for helping me as a small-scale farmer, for helping me to be able to bring change in my community and employ young people. I just want to say thank you. The DA gets things done. Thank you very much.
South Africa, Goeiemorgen, Molweni. My name is Bakolile Notata. Siri calls me Bex alive, but I simply go by Bex. I am the DA's Deputy Chief Whip in Parliament. But for today, I am your man on the ground at the DA's Federal Congress 2026. Coming to you live right here at the Gallagher Convention Center in Gauteng, South Africa. Delegates are excited, they are prepared, but most importantly, they are ready to elect the new leadership of the Democratic Alliance. But you can see there's a chaos going on here. All 9 provinces are represented right here. But enough from me. Let's hear it from the delegates on the ground. I'm now joined by Andrea. Andrea is the DA Student Organization chairperson nationally. Andrea, how does it feel to be here?
Hi, Bax. I am really excited to be here. This is my first time at the DA's Federal Congress, and the energy in the house is next level. As you said, I'm the DA's Federal Chairperson, and we represent a diverse range of students across all 9 provinces in South Africa. And some of our members are actually here in the house today, representing students on the ground as well. And speaking of diversity, the vibrance and the diversity of the delegates in the house today is also so lovely to see.
That is absolutely amazing. I mean, Andrea, you're a delegate, and I'm sure it's actually special for you to become a delegate, but why the Democratic Alliance?
That's such a good question, Bax. For me, I come from such a diverse family, and I really appreciate the fact that the Democratic Alliance is the most diverse party in South Africa. But secondly, the DA has really made a commitment to building a South Africa that works for all and building opportunities that are fair for all young people. And I know firsthand as a student how important it is to have spaces where your voice is heard and platforms where you are able to learn and to serve. And the DA has provided that for me. So I will always be voting for the DA.
That is absolutely amazing. And Andrea, I mean, there are young people that are sitting at home watching this Congress, and some may be on campuses as you lead them. I mean, why should this Congress matter to them?
This Congress matters because the outcome of this Congress actually plays a big impact on the outcome of the local government elections, which are important and coming up very soon. What we need to be asking ourselves as young people is, are we going to continue voting for parties that deliver nothing but money into their own pockets, or are we going to vote for the party that delivers services to those that live within their municipalities, that are committed to creating safe environments for our children to grow up in, and that amidst a severe youth unemployment crisis are committed to building jobs for the youth? That is who we need to be voting for, and that is the DA.
And it's very important for them to understand that. But Andrea, obviously some young people are saying, I'm not interested in politics, I'm not going to go and vote, no political party is different from me. What is your parting message to those young people sitting at home?
My parting message is that your vote counts. So get involved, get registered to vote, educate yourself and your friends, and use your voice and vote for the DA.
Oh, well, you heard it right here from the leader of the DA Student Organization, nationally, the chairperson, Andrea, saying that if you want change in your municipality, in your town, you must vote for the Democratic Alliance. But it's not that easy. You have to go to check.da.org.za to make sure that you are registered correctly, to rescue your municipality from the failing ANC government and failing coalition governments, because we are interested in getting South Africa working. As you can see, the vibe, the chaos is lovely. We're just getting started this morning, but I know my people there on stage, that Double D, Donovan and Tikeledi, may have more for you. So we'll check you on the other side. Over to you, guys.
My name is Dennis Mazikana. I'm a trader at our workforce. A lot of people used to be scared coming down here, but everyone is saying it's very safe. So business is picking up. Everyone is happy. It's nice and clean. A lot of improvement happening, building new shops, and there's a lot of projects that are going to be done to promote tourism.
We came here for the beautiful nature, a lot of improvement in the DA municipality run by the Democratic Alliance.
The DA is doing a very good job. I'm from Potchefstroom, and I can see like here something is being done, and I'm very happy that I step up and doing something.
The DA are doing a wonderful job, and I wouldn't vote for anybody else ever. Mr. Papas is really doing a wonderful job, and I hope he stays in his position for a long time.
Local government is about getting the basics right. It's about restoring hope and giving people something to look forward to in the future. It's about fixing the infrastructure that we build our lives upon. These are the small differences that we can make in your lives every day as the Democratic Alliance.
DA at work, rescuing South Africa.
As you can see, we're having a ball of a time over here with Helen and Hanif. We are just loving it in studio over here. But what a lovely conversation we had with Andrea from the DA Student Organization. We are back in studio at the Democratic Alliance 2026 Federal Congress.
I mean, it is so crazy in here. Everybody's excited. We are excited. But this is a make it or break it kind of situation when it comes to local government. And we've got two mayoral candidates in studio with us. But as well, South Africa, help is on the way. The DA is ready to deliver and get South Africa working.
Listen, let me tell you, if you ever had doubt that Helen cannot run Joburg, look at her right now. She's joining us to unpack her plans for Johannesburg, as well as Hanif Wilson, next mayor of eThekwini. Helen, Hanif, how are you feeling being here?
Well, you can see, I wasn't concentrating, I was getting with a groove.
Hanif, how are you feeling?
I tell you what, the spirit is going to cover South Africa before the end of this year.
Absolutely.
People are excited about the change that's coming to South Africa. And if you're watching from home, this is what's going to come over South Africa in the next few months. So you better get behind the DA if you want to get our country working again. It's going to take each and every single one of you to build the spirit and build the country that we love so much.
And I mean, we're going into local government elections, Hanif. What does those Congress and these upcoming local government elections mean for the people of eThekwini?
Well, for over 30 years, the people in eThekwini have suffered so much. Almost 60% of the water is wasted into the ground. And there's only one way to change that, and that is to get behind the experts in local government. We are the guys who get cities and towns working all over South Africa. Wherever people have given us a chance, we made things happen, and we want to get South Africa working again.
Absolutely.
There you have it, getting South Africa working.
Now, Helen, there's Joburg voters and residents watching right now. What can they expect from this Congress, and why is it so important for them to tune in?
Hi, Joburg residents and all of South Africa. What you can look for is what you vote for. If you want blue government to fix Joburg, you have to vote for it. And the more people who unite behind the DA, the better our chances we have to be the biggest party and to put together a government afterwards. So that is what you need to look forward to, but you can only get it if you vote for it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, that's so important. And I mean, we've got two of our mayoral candidates here. But before we let you guys go anywhere, we've got a fun question just to ask you for our viewers at home. If you were not at Congress today, where would you be? At a braai or at the beach, Helen?
I would be definitely at a braai.
Not in the bottle.
No. Was that an option?
I think so.
I thought I had to choose one of the options. But if you put the bottle on the menu, I'd be there.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to teach me how to snorkel, but it's clearly not the case. Hanif, where would you be?
Well, I'm going to have to be at a braai because our government there messed up our beaches, right?
Yes.
And when we fix those beaches back home in Durban, then I'm going to bring Helen to come and visit the beaches there.
Absolutely.
And that's what you can look forward to in Durban. Change is coming. Get behind the DA.
Absolutely.
Let's get Durban working again.
There we go, South Africa. Those are the next mayors of Johannesburg and eThekwini, but you have to vote for them. So make sure you go to check.da.org.za to ensure that you know your registration status. But for now, let's go back over to the man on the ground, Mr. Bax Nodada. Bax, over to you, sir.
I'm Connie Tidlof. I live in Luri, small town in Kouga and Midvaal, led by the DA. As you can see behind my back, 3-4 years ago, there was nothing, no grass. Clubhouse was burned down, and our children was playing here, there in the street. Nothing to do. Now our kids are safe, they can come and play on the sports field. People from outside our neighborhood come to host their tournaments here. And we only can say thank you for the DA. And we appreciate that, what they do for our community.
Ik is Lorenzo Adams. Ik is voorheen was een niks sportfacility geweest wat net gravel. En toen moest ik bij de huis zitten en niks doen nie. En met dromen was ik daarmee in van. En nou dat die sportfacility in Prinsenveld is ik net dankbaar dat die DA wat al teruggebracht heeft.
DA at Work, rescuing South Africa.
Thank you so much, Donovan and Delegates. I am now here back on the ground with our delegates at the DA Federal Congress where the geest is building up. But joining me now, we've got a man that is talking about everything DA policy. Our head of policy, Matt Cuthbert, especially now that we're in Congress, we have to talk about the documents that we have to go and implement in government. Matt, how are you feeling this morning?
How's it, Bax? It's great to be here. We've got some nice energy going. I think we're going to position ourselves as the party of government for the local government elections coming up in November this year with a view towards 2029. And exciting, we're going to elect young new leadership. And I think the DA is in a very good place this morning.
Definitely, we're in a definitely good place, Matt. But people will be asking the DA head of policy, what is your job here at Congress?
So my job at Congress is to chair the policy resolution section. And basically, delegates over the past year have been submitting policy resolutions in order to help us shape the policy direction of the party. We're going to have an opportunity to deliberate, to vote on these particular resolutions, and this will guide us towards the local government election in 2026, as well as the national and provincial election in 2029.
I mean, absolutely amazing. And well, obviously, delegates have been discussing some of these. What are some of the policies or resolutions that we need to look forward to at this Congress?
So I think there's some key themes that we're going to focus on for this particular Congress. Number one is jobs. We know that unemployment is the number one issue in this country. We know that we've got a significant problem with crime. We need to be able to address violent crime. We know that we have a significant problem with corruption, as seen to us live broadcast at the Madlanga Commission. And fundamentally, because we're going into a local government election, basic services. And these are the key themes that we're going to be focusing on as we move throughout the Congress over the course of the weekend.
Look, you're talking about local government elections. Obviously, there are coalitions everywhere in South Africa at the moment. Does the DA have any, policy positions or resolution when it comes to dealing with coalition governments in the country?
Yes, so we've seen the revolving door of mayors in many of our metros, such as Johannesburg, Nelson Mandela Bay, and the like. And what the DA is advocating for in the National Assembly in Parliament is to make sure that we introduce a threshold so that all of these kingmaker parties that act like extortion rackets and try and extract positions from the DA in coalition are going to be able to fall below the threshold, and we are going to be able to be in a position where we can stabilize local government, focus on service delivery, and ultimately improve South Africans' lives.
Oh, well, there you heard it from the DA's head of policy, Matt Cuthbert. Matt, thank you so much for sharing that with us. But remember, all the policies that we develop here, we go and implement in government. All the policies and resolutions that we decide here, we come and change your lives for the better. So don't forget to join our conversation using the hashtag DA Congress 2026, and make sure you go to check.da.org.za to make sure that you are registered to get your municipality working again. So ultimately, I know my double D there in studio want to go and take you live to the opening ceremony. So back to you, Donovan and Tikeledi.
Listen, Bax, we can feel the excitement and the energy all the way from here. We are so jealous that you are in the crowd amongst all the delegates there. We are live back at the Gallagher Convention Center for the Democratic Alliance 2026 Federal Congress.
I mean, Bax is having so much fun. I would really want to abandon studio and go have fun on the Congress floor, but I can't do that because all of you need to actually know what's happening this weekend.
Absolutely.
Right now, we have over 2,000 delegates that have made their way into this venue. Registration is almost closed and Congress is about to kickstart. And I mean, they come from 9 different provinces.
Absolutely.
I mean, can you imagine it?
It's electrifying in here. I mean, I can't explain it. To help us make sense of all of this is our amazing podcast and studio buddies, Tammy Jackson, councillor from Cape Town, Kabelo Makatotsi, all the way from the Eastern Cape Legislature. Tammy, Kabelo, how are you guys feeling being here?
I'm super optimistic. This is my 4th Congress. Since I joined the DA in 2018, I'm super optimistic. You can feel the energy in the room. If you look behind us, you can see this is the big, mighty blue machine of the DA in all its glory.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what unfolds in the next 2 days.
Yeah, Kabelo?
Exciting. I mean, I'm just looking at the sea of blue, looking at the diversity here. We haven't seen a lot of people in 3 years, and we are now seeing friends and family because there's a blue family. But it's just the mood that is in here. There were Amaguijo, people singing, the music, the performance. This is just electrifying, and I'm excited to be here.
Very important, and this is what we enjoy most as well about Congress.
It's the entertainment. Now let's go to the opening ceremony. I know you love music. I know you love dancing. Kabelo, what are some of the performances you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the diverse music that we have, but I'm also looking forward to some of the local artists that are here, because one of the things that the DA does is to celebrate our diversity, our heritage, and music is integral to who we are as South Africans. And you can hear, listen to that, look at the crowd, goosebumps that you can never see before.
Wow.
Brilliant, beautiful.
I mean, it is completely insane on the Congress floor, but Tammy, what can we expect this Congress weekend?
So there's a lot that's going to take place on our agenda today, besides the entertainment, besides the cheers that you can clearly see behind me, besides all the speeches from our various leaders inside the DA and our Mayoral candidates. our viewers can also expect us to discuss important resolutions, policy matters that's not only going to take the DA forward, but South Africa forward. And then, of course, we're also going to be discussing constitutional amendments as well.
Absolutely. Well, this is a united Democratic Alliance right behind me. I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds absolutely unifying. I want to know, why is a strong DA so important for South Africa?
Well, I mean, if you look across cities inside really across South Africa, you will see that there's a persistent decline, right? And the ANC has held political dominance for many, many years, for over 20 years. And the DA is the only party that is big enough and strong enough to actually take on the ANC. And if you look at the polling, you will see that South Africans actually view the DA as being more favorable.
I mean, it seems like the opening ceremony is about to start. And I mean, we really are going to have to go to stage, but stay tuned because I'm afraid our buddies are going to remain here with us.
I never thought that I would take the last steps on the stairs. I never thought the stairs will be a barrier in my life. To believe in yourself, then to accept yourself, then also to believe that there is hope for tomorrow. And if you believe in yourself, you can make a difference in your own life, then also in other people's life. I'm now 34 years in a wheelchair. At first it was very challenging because I couldn't accept the different me. In 1990, on my way home, I climbed over a school fence, my pants stuck, I slipped, and that's where my life changed immediately. I saw my friends walking around me, turning from young boys to teenagers, and I also wanted to be a part of that. I started to feeling very frustrated and started to hate life. At the age of 17, I started to feel suicidal. I wanted to end my life. Every day was just a big challenge for me because I have to face my physical challenge and I have to face the loss of my mother. My mother was my rock. The day she passed away, I never thought that I would be able to move on.
I am Renal's cousin, his carer. I've been living with Renal now for 20 years. His mommy did adopt me. So I enjoy what I'm doing with Renal. I have much respect for Renal and what he does for our community and for the disabled people around us.
I'm Rendel's youngest brother. Ever since I was born, I found my brother in the situation. And for me, it was easy to adapt. It motivates me how to appreciate life more. And he always inspired me also.
I went to Fallsburg College, where I studied mount painting and graphic design. I never thought that I would able to draw with my mouth, but I managed to get it right in. Since I voted for the DA, I've been working with the councillor. She actually gave me an opportunity for a job, and I was so grateful that it was the first time for me to work and to earn money.
I saw the need of our physically impaired, and as a DA public representative, we work for fairness, freedom, opportunity, and diversity. And our physically impaired need to be inclusive into that, where the DA is standing for, and that is why I was instrumental in requesting that ramps be fitted into our sidewalks, where they can safely go from one place to the next.
My message for people with disability is to believe in yourself, and to accept yourself, and also to believe that there is hope for tomorrow. And if you believe in yourself, you can make a difference in your own life and also in other people's life.
DA at Work, rescuing South Africa.
If my sister Zahara was here right now, if my sister Zahara was here, before I leave this stage, I need a favor, please. Can everyone please say, oh, I spelling short to Zara, spelling everybody, softer. I need to hear you. Everybody. Short to Sahara. My name is Mr. Nova. I love you guys so much. I love you.
Vusi Nova Democrats! Now it's time to please welcome your Congress 2026 presiding officers. Firstly, he is our Deputy National Campaign Manager. Welcome, Werner Horn. And secondly, she is the DA's Portfolio Committee Chairperson of Social Development in Parliament, Bridget Masango.
Do I start? Good morning, Democrats. Welcome to the DA Federal Congress 2026. Officially, the largest Congress yet, with more than 2,000 delegates in attendance today. What a beautiful sight. From Limpopo River to Cape Agulhas, every single Democrat across the country is represented here today. My name is Bridget Masango, one of your two presiding officers this weekend, and with me is Werner Horn. Together, we will be making sure that every resolution and vote taken over the next 2 days is free and fair. And it will be our great pleasure to announce the official results of all federal position elections tomorrow afternoon. Before we officially commence the proceedings, it is my honor to announce that this Federal Congress 2026 is certified correct in accordance with the DA's federal constitution. And with that, we may officially proceed, Democrats. Thank you.
From across South Africa, we gather here today, united in our mission to rescue our country, getting South Africa working. We are a party of government that delivers. a party of strong opposition, of progress and innovation, a party of freedom, fairness, opportunity and diversity. We are activists, councillors, mayors, MECs, premiers, MPLs, members of parliament, ministers in cabinet, deputy ministers and professional staff. We are the Blue Machine. We are gathered in the economic heartland of our nation. We are the thin blue line guarding our democracy and guarding our country's future. And now, for the first time ever, at a DA Federal Congress, a party of national government. Delegates, Democrats, South Africans, welcome to the Democratic Alliance Federal Congress 2026.
Delegates, Democrats, now welcome back to the stage your DA 2026 Congress MCs. Luyalo Mpiti, Nesli Sharif, Kwena Moloto, and Angus Mackenzie.
Wow, Democrats. How was Vusinova, eh? Yay! Can we give it up for Vusinova? Did you guys enjoy Vusinova?
Hey, but Democrats, I heard Tabelo's backstage worried he's going to lose his job.
Well, after that performance, Vusinova brought down the house.
Democrats, it is incredible to see all of you coming across from all over the country, gathering for this momentous occasion. But first, I just want to check which provinces we have in the house. Can we hear if we have Mpumalanga in the house? Wait. I have to give them, because they're the first province. Let me give them another try. Can we hear Mpumalanga in the house? Can we hear if we have Limpopo in the house?
I think they deserve a second go as well.
I agree.
Can we hear Limpopo in the house?
Democrats, it's absolutely amazing that from every corner of this beautiful country, we have branches and activists and people that are ready to get South Africa working. Now we've heard from the two provinces, but let me hear from the host province, Gauteng. No, I think as the host province,
We have to do it again.
They have to do it again. As the host province, they have to do it again.
Yes, please.
All together, can we hear from the host province, Gauteng? That's good, but not to be outdone by probably one of the most beautiful provinces in the country. Let's hear it for KZN. Okay, that one, hold on. All I'm hearing is Chris Pappas and Dean McPherson. So I'd actually like to hear the entire KZN make some noise!
Democrats looking out at the crowd, this is the most diverse party in South Africa. Let us make some noise. Eastern Cape! It's a tough one. Yeah, oh, there we go. Eastern Cape, halala, Eastern Cape, halala. And now, clap if you are in the house. Let's go Free State! Let's go Free State! Free State! Make some noise, Free State!
Now, Democrats over the last few months, branches from across the country have democratically elected the leaders here in this room. So let's hear it for the leaders from the Northwest. Northwest. Let's try it again. Let's hear it from the Northwest. Hey, I'm now gonna attempt some Afrikaans.
You can do it. You can do it. We believe in you.
En nou, vir die Noord-Kaap. Waar is die Noord-Kaap?
That was good, Kwena. That was good.
Did I get it?
That was good. You want to try it one more time.
Hey. Now, last but not least, I think we might hear some noise in here, all the way from the back. Let's hear it for the Western Cape! Make some noise!
Listen. Whoa. Listen. Just because they're my home province, I want the Western Cape to make some noise! Let's all stand to our feet, everybody together. Western Cape, Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Limpopo, the Northwest, Mpumalanga. Let's make some noise! And all together, get SA working! Get SA working! Get SA working! Get SA working! Get SA working!
That's right, Angus. Dala what you must, but in the DA we trust. Democrats, we have a jam-packed lineup coming your way, so please make sure that you're comfortable. Am I right, Kwena?
Yes. Viva DA, viva! Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Delegates, it's now time to officially open our 2026 Federal Congress. And to make it official, please welcome a gentleman who carries the Constitution very close to his heart, our Federal Chairperson, Dr. Ivan Meyer.
Delegates, our special guests, media, and all those who are following this Congress online, both nationally and internationally. I'm also greeting our federal leader, John Steenhuisen, our chairperson of the Federal Council, Helen Zille, all our provincial leaders, provincial chairpersons, PECs, regional leaders, members of the Federal Executive, as well as members of the Federal Council, all structures and formations of the Democratic Alliance, all activists, all supporters around the world. A special welcome to our international guests and more than 500 local and international media, religious organizations, and traditional leaders. Also, DA abroad, welcome to this Congress. I'm also greeting all our activists, our foot soldiers, our volunteers and supporters across South Africa. Every 3 years, members of the Democratic Alliance come together to take stock and to reflect and to map out the future of this party. At this Congress, we are meeting at a time when liberal democracy is globally under attack. We have invited our partners from the liberal parties around the world. They are present at this Congress. During times of uncertainty, we must return to our values and core principles. 3 years ago, we were the official opposition in South Africa. 3 years later, we are in the government of national unity. Delegates, South Africa, at this Congress, we will provide feedback on our performance in local government, in provincial government, and in the national government. As you will see, the DA is making a huge difference in the government of national unity. We are meeting here today at a time when many towns have no water and no electricity. This Congress is your platform to discuss policy resolutions. I want to thank the chairperson of the Policy Resolutions Committee, Mr. Matt Cuthbert, who has done an outstanding job. At every Congress, delegates put constitutional amendments and discussions. The chairperson of the Constitutional Amendments Committee will explain how that process will work. I want to thank the chairperson, Mr. Kevin Milam, for doing an outstanding job. The year 2026 is also a year for local government elections. We must rescue our towns. In many municipalities have already collapsed. We know that all politics are local, so this Congress will discuss local government issues at this very Congress. We are seeing that the political ground is shifting in South Africa, and the newly elected leadership will shape our agenda forward for 2029. This Congress will put the puzzle together to fix municipalities, rescue our towns and cities. We will have serious, in-depth discussions because the state is on the brink of collapse and becoming a failed state. There will be a good mix of serious political discourse, but there will also be great entertainment for you. The Federal Congress Organizing Committee would like to express our deep thanks and appreciation to Liana and her team. She has done an outstanding job to put this Congress together. Can we give her a round of applause? We have also a separate program for our special guests at the back. Everything at this Congress will show our approach to professionalism and excellence. We have planned this Congress for the last 24 months, and I want to thank the Federal Executive, the Federal Council, our provinces, provincial directors, the Organizing Committee, the provincial head officers, the Federal Head Office, and the staff for making this truly a remarkable and a memorable experience. And now, as per the Constitution of the Democratic Alliance, in my capacity as the convener of this Congress, I hereby declare the Democratic Alliance Federal Congress 2026 officially open. Delegates, it is your Congress. It is your Congress, and South Africa is watching. South Africa needs you, the Democratic Alliance. Kosi sikelele iya Afrika.
They said it could not be done, that South Africa would wait decades to see the end of one-party dominance. That change at the ballot box was still years away. They prophesized, we professionalized. They talked, we worked. They said power belonged to one party forever. We said power belongs in the hands of the people. It was a captured state, a playground for corruption, a country pushed to the brink. 29 May 2024, the day South Africans started changing their future. The day we started rescuing our country. The day we began getting South Africa working. They said it could not be done. But when we set our minds to something, there is nothing we cannot achieve. A government of national unity, the DA in national government, and South Africa starting to work again. Our rand is growing stronger. Investment into our country is up. Jobs are being created. We've stopped tax hikes, cut red tape for small businesses, and this is getting South Africa working. A South Africa we can be proud of. The country we love is now in much safer hands. They said it could not be done, but if anyone can get South Africa working, the DA can.
Just imagine beating off our love. Look outside South Africa. Just open your eyes. Look outside. There's a burning bridge, fire everywhere. Paradise was almost closing down. Thank you. My name is
Delegates, give it up for Siki Joanne. And welcome to the stage, Helen Zille.
Hello, Joburg! Julle tati, lille monati, dames en heren, mannen en mannen kazi, all the way from Cape Town! Here to help you fix Joburg and beyond. Love me.
For decades, the Democratic Alliance has led the fight to get South Africa working. Our roots stretch back to 1959, when Helen Zille's Progressive Party stood up against the apartheid regime. That tradition carried forward through the Democratic Party, which helped shape South Africa's constitution, and in 2000 became the Democratic Alliance, built to be a strong opposition, to protect our democracy and to offer South Africans a real alternative by becoming a party of government. That mission has never changed. In opposition, the DA has been relentless. We have fought corruption. We have exposed abuse of power. We have pushed back for accountability. And we have stood up for the rule of law when others looked away. From the fight for antiretrovirals during AIDS denialism, to the long battle for Zuma spy tapes, to accountability for the Life Esidimeni tragedy, and the pressure that helped bring about the Zondo Commission into state capture. The DA has never stopped fighting for the truth. We have fought for service delivery in broken municipalities. We have fought in councils for fairness and in provincial legislatures against grand-scale corruption. We have fought and we keep fighting. An army of DA councillors in every corner of our country who put residents first, who care deeply, who never give up. Today, millions of South Africans live in DA-run governments. The Western Cape is the best-run province in South Africa. The city of Cape Town is the best-run metro in South Africa. DA-led administrations continue to show that where the DA governs, government works. And now, for the first time in our history, the DA is a party of national government, because this party was built to serve, to lead, and to get South Africa working. And very few people have done more to build that story than the woman we honor now. A pillar of our success, a fierce defender of our values, a leader of uncommon courage. She spoke when others stayed silent. She stood firm when others stepped back. And time and again, she inspired the party to aim higher, fight harder, and believe in itself. South Africa knows her as a fighter for freedom. The DA is proud to call her one of our own. She is also mother to Paul and Thomas, wife to Profi, grandmother to Mila and Francois. She is our favorite Gogo, and to many, a godmother of South African democracy. The outgoing chairperson of Federal Council, former leader of the Democratic Alliance, former premier of the Western Cape, former World Mayor of the Year, and DA mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome Helen Zille.
My friends and delegates, my blue family, I wish I could dance now, but the people running this Congress are running like a Swiss train. And there isn't something on the run sheet that says I may dance now, because we might lose a minute. So we better get going and stick to the program and the time. What a vibe. What a fantastic moment. To see all the provinces in friendly competition and then pulling together like provincial sports teams, but when the books
or Bafana Bafana play, we all come together. And that is the DA. We have just watched a powerful but very brief history of the Democratic Alliance, beginning with our founding Congress 26 years ago. But the values that we stand for are far older. We did not invent them. We inherited them. We took the baton from those who ran this race for liberal democracy before us, in fact, 67 years ago. To Congress delegates as young as you, 67 years may seem a long time. In political evolution, it is the blink of an eye. Those who study these things remind us that in building a sustainable liberal democracy, the first 500 years are always the most difficult. And yet, in just under 7 decades, we have made extraordinary progress. We have made extraordinary progress in soil that has never been fertile for liberal democracy. Historically, liberalism has taken root in relatively homogeneous societies. As those societies became more diverse, as so many are in our shrinking interconnected world, liberal democracy comes under pressure and is often the first casualty. Identity politics rises. Ethno-populism thrives. The principle of individual freedom under the law begins to wilt. Historians will one day ask this question: how did South Africa, of all countries, chart a different course? And the answer will be this: the Democratic Alliance. You. The answer will be to the question, why did South Africa, of all countries, chart a different course? The answer will be you, the Democratic Alliance. We have taken on two powerful racial nationalist traditions in our history. We defeated one of them at the end of the 20th century. We have prevented another from dominating our new landscape, acting as a powerful brake on the trend in liberated countries for the liberators to become the oppressors. And we have done this in an era when much of the world is beating an alarming retreat from liberal principles, and the moderate rules-based order itself is under threat. There is no shortage of parties in our country that want to pull us in that same direction. Hundreds will appear on the ballot in the next election. Many will seek to weaponize our diversity and to divide South Africans along racial lines. We reject that path. We are the party of inclusion, not division. We call ourselves the blue people, not black, not white, not brown, but blue. Blue people distinguish themselves by their shared values. And no matter what we look like in this hall today, we share the same core blue values. We believe in a nation defined not by race, but by principles. The rule of law, constitutional democracy, individual freedom, human rights, and a market-based economy that creates opportunity for all. These once uncontroversial principles are now under attack worldwide. And yet the DA stands out as an extraordinary outlier. Unbent and unbowed in the face of a global liberal retreat, we march forward. We have built one of the largest, proudest, and most resilient liberal movements in the world. And we did it in one of the most hostile environments imaginable to liberal politics. And now we are on course to become the largest party in South Africa's metros at the end of this year. And from there, we move to the next milestone, becoming South Africa's biggest party. Oza 2029, Oza. And how did we do it? Because we learned some hard lessons on our journey. We're a learning organization, and learning those lessons made us stronger. We must never compromise on our core values. We must resist the pull of race-based politics, whether from the far right or the woke left. And we must build and defend the inclusive, rational center of politics. And we have also built strong internal institutions, the blue machine, structures that work, and a culture that values open debate, not factional scripts. This Congress is proof that blue people do things differently. We contest leadership openly and fairly. No one's going to be bought. No money's going to exchange hands for a vote, not even a box of chocolates. So we contest openly and fairly. We elect leaders peacefully, without bribery, without coercion, without threats. We debate policy in good faith. And if you don't win an argument or an election in the DA, you are not punished. You are respected for putting yourself out there, as long as you do so with integrity. And when you fail in the DA to get what you aim for, you come back stronger by working harder, not by looking for excuses, not by playing the race card or retreating into victimhood and factionalism. That's not the DA way. Because our culture lies in our values, and we are bound together by something much greater than ourselves. A relentless commitment to make South Africa succeed. That is our mission, and we are well on the way to achieving it. But we understand how fragile a rules-based democratic order truly is, how easily it can be eroded by the forces of tyranny and anarchy. We should never take our progress for granted. Over 3 generations, we have learnt this important truth, which I repeat again here today. Democracy is never finally won. It must be defended again and again in every generation. That insight must guide us as we pass the baton today to the next generation of leaders. And we do so with great confidence. Go forth, fight the good fight. Go out and multiply support for the DA, because that will make our country the wonderful, successful, great country we know it can be. Thank you very much. I truly love you guys.
Those municipalities that do best are not ANC-controlled municipalities. They are often DA-controlled municipalities. What is it that they are doing that is better than what we are doing?
South Africa was named Best Country, while its iconic city of Cape Town claimed the prestigious title of Best City in the World.
The city says it's determined to invest in critical infrastructure to improve the lives of residents.
The city will spend more on infrastructure in the next few years than Johannesburg and Durban combined.
More than 8 billion rand will go to new or upgraded infrastructure in poorer communities.
Most of our local municipalities are in tatters. They are heavily indebted and badly run. Midvaal, local municipality in the Vaal, has been one of a very few exceptions in the country.
The Midvaal municipality is working on ditching power utility Eskom and replacing it with a private company instead.
The municipality of Midvaal has been ranked first in clean audits and satisfactory service delivery for years running. It has consistently outperformed most of the municipalities in the province and indeed municipalities around the country.
The South African Local Government Association in KwaZulu-Natal has commended Umgeni municipality for what it said is effective use of the municipal infrastructure grant. In 6 months, it managed to spend the 24 million rands allocation on various projects such as roads, storm water, and finishing all the projects that had been poorly managed before.
The Kouga municipality is fighting crime with the creation of a high-tech intelligence center that helps monitor CCTV cameras and license plate recognition.
The Kouga municipality has also taken further steps to ensure public safety by launching an app for residents. In case of emergencies, the app directly links the user to the monitoring center.
It is a privilege to announce that George Municipality has achieved its 4th consecutive clean audit from the Auditor General of South Africa. This is a significant milestone that reflects our ongoing commitment to clean, transparent and accountable governance.
The West Coast District Municipality has officially been named South Africa's best-run municipality for 2025. 2 of its local municipalities, Saldanha and Swartland, were tied for first place as the top-performing local municipalities in the country.
These are the issues you're going to be considering as you go to the polls. Who is the party that can help us achieve better service delivery where I live?
The Western Cape government is currently pushing ahead to mitigate power cuts. The province has installed numerous solar panels to harness green energy. And Saldanha Bay, Stellenbosch, George, as well as the city of Cape Town are already using independent power producers to reduce reliance on Eskom.
To enable further job-creating economic growth, officials are investing 43 billion rand in infrastructure over 3 years.
7 out of 10 young people in the country are unemployed, but in the Western Cape, 8 out of 10 people have jobs.
Sometimes I look at the numbers and I almost have to pinch myself. It's like it's unbelievable. 64.9% of all jobs in South Africa in the last 5 years are in one province.
Some of the biggest global companies are expanding its operations in the Western Cape.
The Democratic Alliance in KwaZulu-Natal is now aiming to grow the party and take on the ANC head-on.
They actually outlined their plans for the province in terms of service delivery as well as governance.
The common denominator in KwaZulu-Natal is quite simply building a capable and ethical state.
Since I've taken office, we've cut our debt from 800 million to 300 million. We've done a full audit of all the properties, found over 500 properties the department didn't even know it owned. We've put in place a rapid response team that now responds within 24 hours to problems, no longer the 30 days that previously was the record of the department. So things are happening in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
We are seeing very positive developments since the formation of the Government of National Unity.
International investors are seeing this. They see that there is a seriousness and a commitment, and they like it.
And you know what the DA
DA ministers have been doing. They have been taking interviews. They have been performing.
Dean McPherson, Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, says the real infrastructure problems and crisis resides in local government, and his department's implemented ways to solve these problems at the local government level.
I want us to be a department that South Africa is proud of, that we're using public assets for public good, and that we're turning this country into a construction site.
Minister of Forestry, Fisheries as well as the Environment, Philip Okamp, is currently briefing members of the media on the damage that was caused by floods at the Kouga National Park.
I'm so proud to say that I'm part of this team. Everybody worked so hard to firstly get people to safety, that proactively worked to really make the best out of a really very devastating situation.
Okamp has extended the West Coast rock lobster season for a month. The department says it's committed to working with small-scale fishers and to save livelihoods in the sector.
The Home Affairs Department has this week announced that it has partnered with 5 major banks as the department aims to reduce the waiting times, strengthen security, and be efficient.
I think if we can demonstrate over a period of time that things can get better, even at a place like Home Affairs, we have the potential here to really restore hope that South Africa itself can actually get better.
Minister of Communication and Digital Technologies, Solly Malatsi, says his department has launched a digital transformation roadmap to establish a single digital identity for all South Africans to access all government services.
Basic Education Minister Sivu Kwahube has reiterated her department's commitment to eradicating pit latrines at schools across the country.
The Ministry of Basic Education is launching a transformative campaign to expand access to quality early childhood development. Well, the aim is to register 10,000 ECD centres this year to ensure every child up to the age of 5 benefits from early education.
Agricultural Minister John Steenhuisen says South African exports have not only remained competitive, but have increased to $161 million.
South Africa has regained market access for the exportation of apples to Thailand. The market has been closed for about 16 years due to changes in requirements by the trading partner.
Minister John Steenhuisen says vaccines are already being distributed across provinces. There's a national campaign underway vaccinating livestock against foot and mouth disease.
Farmers and farm workers are our country's greatest asset, and it's very, very important that everyone involved in the sector, from a farm worker to a large commercial farmer, feels that they have a department that is on their side and speaking out for them.
John Steenhuisen says his party now has a meaningful role to play in the reconstruction of the country.
Our responsibility is to now meet the challenge of the hour and to help turn South Africa around. But I want to also be clear that what we will not do is to shy away from conflict when we are confronted with serious and lasting damage to our country or its constitution, or the things that underpin our democracy.
Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana has dropped a controversial value-added tax increase. His decision comes as South Africa's second biggest party, the Democratic Alliance, threatened to leave the governing coalition over the VAT increase.
The Democratic Alliance has described the court decision as a victory for all South Africans.
The DA's court intervention was the pivotal intervening factor that has enabled the people of South Africa to come out victorious and to show them why their vote really mattered.
It also shows us, the GNU, starting to function as it should. One party does not now get to dictate a decision for the collective.
It's another positive outcome for the Democratic Alliance in terms of them showing that their ministers are going to do the work. They are in this particular coalition to do good work and quality work. And the ANC, their ministers were already complaining that the DA ministers are making them look bad. They're going to have to pull up their socks.
It's now up to the next generation of leadership to ensure that the DA continues to do so with ever-growing confidence for many, many more years to come, so that we can deliver to the country of our dreams and deliver this country to all of our children.
Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from KwaZulu-Natal, the one and only Mayor of Umngeni Municipality, Chris Pappas.
And also from Umngeni, please help me welcome our Deputy Mayor, affectionately known as Bones. It's Sandile Mnigati.
And now he leads the best run municipality in Gauteng. Help help me welcome on stage the Mayor of Midvaal, Peter Tixera.
And all the way from the Eastern Cape, when he's not fighting literal fires, he's the Mayor of Kouga Municipality, Mr. Hatting Bornman.
Viva DA, viva! Tswelapele, DA, tswelapele! For almost 30 years in a place called Umgeni in KwaZulu-Natal, the cracks were showing. Finances under pressure, infrastructure deteriorating, the growing gap between what government was delivering and what the people deserved. And most telling of all, the community had lost hope. But this is where our story is different. Because Umgeni, people didn't accept that this was permanent. Abantu bakhethe okuhlukile. They made a decision. And in 2021, they chose change. And in doing so, they made history. Umgeni became the first DA-run municipality in KwaZulu-Natal and still is the only DA-run municipality in KwaZulu-Natal. For years, they told us that would never happen, that the DA would never win and we would never govern in the province of KZN. Abantu bathe bazobusa kuze kufika uJesu uKZN. Well, the people of Umgeni proved them wrong. Not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. And the transition wasn't always smooth. It was a hard reset. There were some hard, uncomfortable things that we had to deal with. Tough decisions that we have to take. Bekunzima ngempela, umsebenzi bumningi. Kodwa abantu bakhethe ushintsho. We had to stabilize finances. We had to employ the right people. We had to rebuild systems that had been broken over time. And then we got to work where it really matters. Fixing roads, restoring lighting, improving waste management, responding consistently to the issues that faced people every single day. Not grand promises, but visible change. And something began to happen. Not overnight, but steadily. People started to believe again. They started to report issues because they knew that they would be answered. Businesses started engaging because they saw stability, and the community started to take ownership because they saw progress. That is what a DA turnaround looks like. It's not just about fixing the infrastructure, it's about breaking the cycle of decline, because decline itself feeds itself, but so does progress. Today, Umgeni is on a different trajectory. Not because we had more resources or because the challenges were fewer, but because we made a conscious decision. Because that's what South Africa deserves, and that is the lesson that we take to everyone. Right now, millions of people across our country are in endemic decline, still planning their lives around government failure, still being told to be patient, still being governed by people who have normalized dysfunction. But what we have shown in Umgeni is this, that the story of decline can be interrupted, and it doesn't take decades. We saw it in just a few years, with leadership that is focused, accountable, and determined. So this is the message we take to across South Africa today. You don't have to wait 20 years. You don't have to lower your expectations. Change can start now. Under the DA, the Umgeni is proof of this. And if we can do it in the DA and in KZN, then we can do it where you live today. DA ke yona fela mokgatlo a ka tlisang tshepo ho batho bohle.
Because the truth is, this isn't really about policy or politics in the abstract. It's about what people live with every single day. It's about whether, when you wake up, you can turn on a tap, turn on a light, open your business, and trust that things will work. And when that doesn't happen long enough, people stop fighting it. They make a plan around it. They buy water tanks. They get generators. They stop reporting issues. And that quiet acceptance, that is the real danger. Because once people accept less, government gets away with doing less. That's the cycle we found in Umgeni, and that's the cycle that we had to break. Not with big speeches, not with plans on paper, but by doing the basics basics properly, consistently, every day. Answering when people call, fixing what's broken, and following through. Simple things, but done properly. And slowly you can see the shift. People started to test the system again. They'd report an issue not really expecting much. Then it gets fixed. And the next time they report it, then they tell someone else, because that's how trust comes back. Not through one big moment, but through many small moments repeated over time. Because when we talk about change, people start imagining something dramatic. But in reality, it's built in the ordinary. It's the street light that stays on. It's a refuse truck that rocks up on time. It's the road that actually gets repaved. Those are the things that matter, because they tell people that someone is actually paying attention, someone actually cares, and that the system is working. And once that starts to happen, expectations change. People stop asking if something will ever be fixed. They want to know when. And that's the story of the DA shift in Umgeni. That change does not need unlimited money, but a decision to do things differently and the discipline to stick to it. Because the gap between failure and success in local government is not as wide as many people think. It's about showing up, taking responsibility, being accountable, and following through. That's it. And if more places can get that right, even in the smallest of ways, we can start to see a country where people don't have to build their lives around dysfunction. A country where government does what it's supposed to be doing. Izinto zingasebenza. We've seen it. So the question is simple. Are you prepared to expect more and demand better? Because once people stop settling, everything changes. If we can do it in Umgeni, we can do it everywhere.
Alala tie alala. Kula tie kula. Democrats, I stand in front of you, before you, as a very, very proud mayor of one of the longest majority governments, DA governments in Gauteng and in South Africa. Democrats, I want to say to you, because we have been governing with an outright majority in Midvaal, it has allowed us to implement DA policy and build a culture of performance, a culture of ethics, a culture of transparency, a culture of good service delivery, a culture that works for all of the people of Midvaal. Because of this culture, we were able to attract investment, foreign investment. Businesses are coming into Midvaal, creating jobs, the much needed jobs for our people. I can tell you, Democrats, Midvaal has one of the lowest unemployment rates in South Africa. This is because of our investment in bulk infrastructure capacity to accommodate businesses, investors that come into our municipality. When we say we are creating jobs, we are not creating temporary jobs, we are creating proper jobs, permanent jobs for our people, and we are changing lives. Democrats, our residents in Midvaal are safe. They feel safe. They can still walk their domestic pets. They can still go on a family walk because it is safe to live in Midvaal. We've invested a substantial amount into our safety and security to ensure that all of our residents are safe. We have cameras, CCTV footage across the municipality. We have empowered our CPFs with resources, thermal heat drones across the municipality. We are really, really changing lives in Midvaal. We are saying, I am saying, let us go out there and go to every corner of South Africa and tell the story of Midvaal, tell the story of the top performing municipalities in the Western Cape. It is possible, it can be done. We have the proven track record, we have the recipe as the DA. We are not talking about pie in the sky, we are talking about tangible stuff that we can see, that we talk about. Democrats, let us go out there, let's talk about the good governance that the DA delivers. Morena Buluka Sichaba sa Yesu. God bless South Africa. God sien South Africa. Baie dankie.
Imagine a sea of yellow boats, all leaking heavily and taking on huge amounts of water. People abandoning their boats because of the inevitable that is about to happen. Some boats are at the bottom of the ocean already, and survivors are bobbing aimlessly in small little lifeboats, unable to steer anywhere. These are the ANC-governed municipalities in the Eastern Cape that have collapsed under the weight of mismanagement, corruption, and neglect. But then you see these blue, huge sails pulled tight by the tailwind that is giving them momentum and purpose for their voyage. Those aboard have eyes that's filled with hope and a passion for the ocean they are sailing in. This blue boat of hope is the DA-run Kouga municipality, the lone DA municipality in the sinking Eastern Cape, for now at least. Kouga itself, just 2 terms ago, was sinking fast. Only 4% of the fleet was working. That's 12 vehicles to service 9 towns. Huge debt, dilapidated infrastructure, sewage running onto our beaches. I can go on and on. But then residents chose to put the DA in government, and things started to change. If you are sitting here today and thinking, my municipality will never rise from the pit that it is in under the ANC, let Kouga's story give you some hope. Kouga was ranked the worst municipality in the country just 10 years ago. Today we are the top municipality in the Eastern Cape. We appointed the best people. We made sure that we kept our finances stable. And today, Kouga looks much different. 98% of our fleet is operational every single day. We now have 2 consecutive clean audits. As we speak, 70% of our roads are being resealed in one go. We have just bought our first 5-megawatt battery energy storage system that will make electricity cheaper to our residents, not through massive inflated tenders to cadres, but value for money. This is the DA difference, and we are not done yet. In a province where failure has become the norm, Kouga is proving that good governance is not only possible, it is achievable, sustainable, and replicable. And this is my message to Congress and to South Africans everywhere. Kouga is not an exception. Kouga is proof. Proof that where the DA governs, things work. Proof that broken municipalities can be fixed. Proof that progress is possible. Proof that the DA cares, not about ourselves, but about every single citizen that we serve. The DA has shown what it can do, not in theory, but in practice. And if we can fix Kouga, we can fix municipalities across this country. The DA is ready to govern. The DA is ready to deliver. And the DA is the only choice to get South Africa working. Vorentoe, DA, vorentoe. Forward, DA, forward.
Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, now for this Federal Congress keynote address, welcome to the stage the federal leader of the Democratic Alliance, John Steenhuisen.
Viva! Pambili, DA, Pambili!
My fellow South Africans, my fellow Democrats, it is with a full heart, profound gratitude, and immense pride that I speak to you today for the final time as the federal leader of the Democratic Alliance. It was in late 2019 that the members of this great organization first entrusted me with the responsibility to rebuild the DA, a mandate that you renewed twice in 2020 and 2023. We've done so much together, friends. Thank you. party that we inherited in 2019 was on its knees, polling at 16%, divided and riven by a crisis of confidence. The media confidently proclaimed the death of the DA. But together, the people in this room refuse to accept decline as our destiny. And as that famous saying goes, kyk hoe lyk ons nou. Because as I so often said on the campaign trail, that there was nothing wrong with the DA that could be fixed with everything that is right with the DA. And together, we set out to prove it by navigating our party through the unprecedented turbulence of the COVID-19 pandemic and into a local government election where we got back to the business of growth. After we had stabilized the party, we met in this exact same venue on the 2nd of April, 2023, when we embarked on a mission that changed the history of the DA and the history of South Africa. On that day, we embarked collectively on our moonshot mission to transform our wonderful DA into a party of national government, fit for purpose in the new recently reality of coalition politics. And just 3 years later, our presence in this hall today is a living testament to the spectacular success of that mission. Not only is the Blue Machine stronger and healthier than ever, not only are we now routinely polling close to 30%, but for the first time in South Africa's history, and for the first time in our party, the DA now co-governs the Republic of South Africa. And that's what we pledged. That's what we pledged to the citizens of this wonderful country at our last Congress. And that is exactly what we've delivered. Democrats, it's important to reflect fully on the scale of what we have accomplished together. The DA traces its roots all the way back to 1959, when a small group of brave South Africans broke away from the United Party to form the Progressive Party. They stood alone in Parliament against the full force of apartheid. Helen Zille, for years, was often the only voice of conscience in that chamber. They were ridiculed, they were marginalized, they were threatened, but they never wavered for a moment in their belief that South Africa belonged to all who live in it. As recently as 1994, the DA's predecessor was still a party that enjoyed the support of just 1.7% of the population. For almost the entire history of our cause, it was unthinkable that the torchbearers of South Africa's liberal tradition could ever enter the union buildings. But Democrats, we are the generation that changed history. We took our moonshot and we achieved what had been unthinkable for decades. For the very first time, the people of South Africa now have a true political alternative, because we have proven that the DA is not only ready to govern a few municipalities and provinces, but that we are ready to get all of South Africa working. Through our work in the Government of National Unity, we have proven that the DA delivers for all the people of South Africa, across urban and rural areas, in townships and in suburbs, in big cities and small dorpies. South Africans are experiencing the change that the DA has brought to the portfolios that we manage. In agriculture, we're opening up enormous new export markets, while systematically vaccinating our entire national herd against foot and mouth disease for the first time in our country's history. In home affairs, we're rebuilding the very foundation of the state, eradicating long queues and replacing paperwork and inefficiency with technological modernization at a scale never seen before. In basic education, we're safeguarding mother tongue education through regulations, while investing in the foundation phase learning and improving matric results. In public works and infrastructure, we're uprooting corruption and criminality while transforming dilapidated government-owned buildings into public assets that serve public good. In communications and digital technologies, we're working to unlock equity equivalence to drive innovation and enhance digital inclusion. And in forestry, fisheries, and environment, we have saved fishing communities from destitution by restoring their access to the sea while ensuring sustainable economic development. Above all, DA ministers, deputy ministers, and our parliamentary chairpersons are fighting every single day to drive the economic reforms that our country needs, to unlock private investment, and to grow the economy and create jobs. And that is why we steadfastly fought against a destructive proposal to increase VAT in last year's budget. It's why we pushed government to act quickly to reduce the fuel levy in the face of exploding fuel costs. It's why we took court action against the economically destructive Expropriation Act, which has led the President to admit in his court papers that the Act is indeed unconstitutional. And Democrats, it's now only a matter of time before the court strikes it down. And that is why we continue to fight against the national health insurance, which has officially been put on hold through a court order. Every single day, in big ways and small, DA councillors, activists, MPs and MPLs are winning the battles against destructive policies in ways that were impossible before, because we now have a seat at the table. And the results speak for themselves. The clarity and urgency that the DA has brought to bear against the destructive policies in favor of economic reform has already led to South Africa's removal from the FATF grey list, our first credit ratings upgrade in 20 years, a doubling of economic growth, and the first signs of lower unemployment. Democrats, we've still got a long way to go to rescue South Africa, but for the first time in decades, our country is well and truly moving in the right direction. And make no mistake about it, the only reason why any of this is happening, the only reason we prevented a VAT increase, the only reason why we are fixing broken departments, and the only reason that our economy is showing signs of life is because the DA accomplished our moonshot mission to enter a national governing coalition. But the DA's work in national government also matters at another deeper level. For almost 70 years, our predecessors strove for a South Africa where all forms of ethnic nationalism would be replaced by a liberal, non-racial, governing alternative that regards citizens as individuals worthy of protection and empowerment. A country where every person enjoys access to the opportunities that they need to build a life, and where we could unite them in our diversity. Thanks to our moonshot mission, South Africa has taken a major step forward to realizing the vision. The fact that a country as diverse as South Africa now has a multi-party coalition governing it, and it is increasingly anchored in our liberal reform agenda, is an astonishing national achievement, given our country's divided and violent past. Even in societies that are much less diverse, societies that are much more divided, coalitions routinely collapse over the kind of deep disagreements that our GNU continues to navigate. And that is profoundly important because it demonstrates beyond doubt that this country is capable of working together to pursue reform and growth. It is not yet at the scale we require, not by a long way, but the experience of the GNU so far demonstrates that, for the first time in South Africa's history, a future with the DA at its heart, united in our diversity, can solve common problems, and that is now within reach. This is also important, Democrats, beyond our own shores. Globally, we have entered an uncertain new era marked by growing division, populism, and violence. We're living through a moment in time where the timeless liberal values that we hold dear, freedom, fairness, opportunity, and diversity, are coming under the most sustained assault since the end of the Second World War. Illiberalism at home and abroad is on the march, and its defining feature is a retreat into populist and ethnic nationalism based on the belief that diverse societies are just doomed to fail. This rising global tide of scapegoating, othering, and ethnic division strikes at the very heart of who we are and the DA's political project. Because our party's core belief, dating all the way back to 1959, is that a country as richly diverse as South Africa can be made to work for all of its people. That a country home to people who have different skin tones, who worship different gods, who speak different languages, who love different people, and whose ancestors came from different places, is not doomed to collapse in endless conflict, but that it can succeed. And that it can succeed not in spite of its diversity, but it can succeed because of its diversity. And look at us, look at our diversity in this hall today. It's also clear that the rising global tide of populism is also lapping at our shores. The doomsday coalition that I warned about from the stage 3 years ago has now taken power in Gauteng. In KwaZulu-Natal, it's kept at bay by a single vote in the provincial legislature. Ethnic nationalism, anti-foreigner incitement, and a drive to exploit our country's problems to drive division are all manifestations of this growing illiberalism. At precisely the moment that the DA took our biggest step towards building a society where every person, regardless of their background, can look forward to a better future, we are confronted by new forces whose sole aim is to replace our inclusive vision with new forms of division, nationalism, populism, and hatred. And it is an agenda that we must reject, and we must reject at all costs, because, Democrats, it is the antithesis of who we are and what our predecessors fought for. And instead, if this is where the world is going, then our job as the DA is to ensure that South Africa is an outlier. While many places around the globe have swung towards extremes, South Africa is one of the few countries that today has a more moderate government, a more inclusive government, and a more diverse government than we had 2 years ago. The formation of the GNU is precious, and it is historic, and an opportunity to unite those who want to build a better country across all those old dividing lines of race, class, language, and religion. It's an opportunity that we must seize and build upon. We, the people of South Africa, and our government of national unity, are now the torchbearers of the future, keeping the flame alive for a world where difference and diversity are harnessed instead of weaponized. Now, this is not naivety, it's practical, because it is only through the values and principles of the DA that South Africa can ensure a prosperous future for all of its people. As I conclude my chapter as the head of the DA, it is fitting to quote the founding leader of our predecessor party, Dr. Jannie Steytler, who famously said way back in 1959 that, I quote, "One day South Africa will be governed by our principles because it is the only way it can be governed," unquote. My fellow South Africans, that a party once consigned to irrelevance and ridicule now shapes the very destiny of South Africa is the legacy that I and we leave behind for the Democratic Alliance. For me, it is mission accomplished. I hand over the baton of leadership with immense pride and complete confidence. The DA today is stronger, larger, more relevant, and more influential than any time in our history. We're no longer a regional party or a perpetual opposition. We are a national force for reform, a party in government that is already making South Africa better. And Democrats, the road ahead will have challenges. It always does. But the foundations that we have built together are solid. The values we defend are timeless. And the mission to become the largest party in South Africa and build a country where every citizen has a fair shot, regardless of their background, remains as urgent as ever. So thank you. Thank you, to every member of the DA, for the millions of acts of kindness and support that you've shown to me through my leadership journey. Thank you for the honor of leading this great party. It truly has been the greatest privilege of my life. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to my incredible staff that works in the leader's office, who've crisscrossed this country with me tirelessly. To all of you, thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. And to my right arm, Una Christians, who's managed the admin in my office for so long. Thank you so much, Una. It's her 20th year of service to the DA today, 12 of which have been with me. And now the hard part. Thank you to my family. Thank you for the sacrifice that you've all made so that I could pursue our dreams together as the DA. Thank you for putting up with the long absences and the grumpiness when I got home after a long campaign day. My daughters are delighted that they won't be seeing their dad dancing on Instagram anymore. And finally, for anybody who may be wondering what I'll be doing next, aside from working night and day until we defeat foot and mouth disease, I will be doing what I have always done since I first joined this party after high school. I'll be side by side with all of you in this glorious blue machine, working in the trenches, supporting the next chapter of our history. I love my party, I love my country, and I will continue to serve them both with all of my heart and soul. Thank you. God bless you. God bless South Africa. God bless the DA.
sekusele kancane asambe wena man kancane sizophumelela asithi ke waza kancane sekusele kancane sahamba manje kancane sizophumelela asambe wena man kancane sekusele kancane washa kancane let's go! Everybody dance! Let's go! Let's say, what's up? Mpumalanga sekusele kancane asambe wena kancane sizophumelela angenisa wethu ekholi sekusele kancane washa kancane sizophumelela waza kancane sekusele kancane asambe ma kancane sizophumelela waza kancane sekusele kancane kancane sizophumelela let's go to church John washa waza way kancane sekusele kancane kancane sizophumelela wazashi kancane sekusele kancane kancane for the last time wazashi kancane sekusele kancane kancane sizophumelela wozamana sithi kancane sekusele kancane ayima kancane sizophumelela ayele John Steenhuisen ayele viva John Steenhuisen viva Pata John Steenhuisen Pata yo sekusele kancane asambe kwa yo sekusele kancane wazawe kancane sizophumelela kancane sekusele kancane asambe wena ayele asuwe kancane sekusele kancane.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.
Africa, Shona
Ratings Africa says the state of South Africa's municipalities, with the exception of the Western Cape, is on the brink of financial collapse. From the non-maintenance of buildings and potholed roads to being unable to get the most basic of services such as water and electricity. Experts say aging infrastructure and lack of maintenance are a big part of this problem. The country, of course, has been experiencing water challenges, with some communities not receiving clean drinking water for weeks on end.
Clearly, it shows that the infrastructure was never maintained since the ANC government has taken over.
Tell them, one of them, to live with us for one day and then see if they're going to survive. But we have to survive.
Corruption is a massive problem in South Africa.
Lots of tenders, lots of kickbacks, lots of dodgy deals.
We are now seeing the consequences of corruption.
The increasing cost of living continues to take a toll on South Africans.
And it's going to get even worse.
South Africa ranked as one of the most dangerous countries in the world.
The latest crime stats suggest South Africa is a crime scene.
The unemployment rate is at a record high.
Around 16.9 million people of working age are without jobs as we speak.
The government that South Africans vote for into power to handle service delivery cannot adequately and sustainably manage all these spheres of local government and municipalities.
Why do you think the government is not doing anything when there is so much at stake for this country?
While others run cities into the ground, only one man will get Durban working. The man who has invited all eThekwini residents to walk with him. Welcome on stage, the DA's eThekwini mayoral candidate, Hanif Hussein.
Yeah, fellow Democrats, friends, yeah, walk with me. The millions of South Africans watching today. What you have just seen on these screens sums it up. Broken towns and cities which must be rescued. For so many years we warned that when government puts power before people, puts cadres before competence, and loyalty before integrity, the result would be destroyed towns and cities. Destruction, corruption, crime, and brazen theft of public resources. In too many places, we still see governments that reward corruption, protect failure, and silence accountability. It destroys hope. And ultimately, it destroys the shared future of our beautiful country. Because all across towns and cities in our country, the story is the same. Where bad parties govern, collapse follows. Where bad parties enter coalitions, chaos follows. And where they cling to power, corruption follows. I stand here today as the mayoral candidate for eThekwini. And so let's take a look at Durban. Communities there go without water for weeks on end. Almost 60% of the water is wasted, and residents have to pay more for less. A city that should be one of Africa's greatest economic hubs, brought to its knees. A municipality where billions are spent but basic services fail. Where infrastructure crumbles while contracts are inflated. Where shack communities are left in filth while the politically connected elites grow rich. And yet the architects of destruction spent 22 million rand on statues instead of fixing the pipes of building houses for the poor. They took a working city and they broke it. This is not incompetence alone. They deploy cadres, not because they are capable, but because they are loyal. They award tenders, not because they deliver, but because they donate. They protect failure because accountability threatens the entire network. And the result, a city that doesn't work, a government that doesn't care, and a people who are forced to suffer. And let us be absolutely clear, this is how cities are broken. Not by accident, but by design. And so by design, we can also unbreak them. By design, we can get them working again. Government failure is not a permanent feature. There is a cure. It is to remove the looters of opportunity, the thieves of dignity, the crooks with a political mandate. The ANC at a local level is nothing more than an organized corruption syndicate masquerading as a political party. But like every other syndicate, their days run out. And I'm not here just to tell you about the story of the rise and fall of the ANC, because, fellow Democrats, there is another much more important story to tell in our country. A story they don't want told. A story of what happens when government actually works. Where the DA governs, cities are cleaner, safer, and much better run. Where the DA governs, we create work. Because we have proven that cities that work create work. Where we lead, money is spent on the people, not stolen from them. We don't make excuses, we make progress. And that is the DA difference. The difference between a party that governs for itself and a party that governs for the people. So today we say enough. Enough of the decay of local governments like eThekwini. Enough of local governments that treat public money like private property. This is not just about politics. This is about the future of every South African who still believes that things can work. And they can. But only if we are prepared to fight for the change we want to see, to organize, to mobilize, to take this message into every community, every street, every home. And as the mayoral candidate for Durban, I stand on the shoulders of hard-working DA caucus with those councillors who fight every single day for our residents. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not easy work. It is relentless work. But the truth is simple. Our cities do not have to fail. Our people do not have to suffer. There is a better way, and we are living proof of that. So let this Congress send a message today to every voter, every worker, every young person searching for hope. We are ready to govern, ready to fix what's broken, ready to rescue our cities. South Africa, the time is now. If we can stand together, we are going to be stronger together, and only the DA can bring change to our cities. We can and we will get your city working. Walk with us, South Africa. It's time to get South Africa working again. Thank you very much.
Delegates, help me welcome to the stage the man who brought smart IDs to hundreds of bank branches, like my hometown of Howick. The man bringing you home affairs at home. Welcome, Dr. Leon Schreiber.
And now, please welcome Mpumalanga provincial leader. She is a deputy minister too, cutting red tape for small businesses. Welcome, Mama Jane Sitole.
Fellow Democrats, fellow South Africans, if I stood on this stage at our last Congress in 2023 and said the words Home Affairs to you, how would that have made you feel? No doubt your mind would have immediately gone to those dreaded queues and the mountains of paperwork. That is why when the DA stepped up to reform Home Affairs in the Government of National Unity, many people said it could not be done. They called it a poison chalice. But now, just 21 months later, the words Home Affairs already conjures up a very different feeling. Where once there was only despair, there is now hope because of the DA's work in the GNU. Our new digital partnership model has already brought paperless smart ID applications to 110 bank branches across the country in just 1 month since it was launched. No bookings, no queues, and no physical documents required. The entire process is done through fingerprint and facial recognition within just 5 minutes. Thanks to this work, communities like Iduchwa, Parais, and Katu have now gained access to smart ID services right where they live for the very first time ever. And Democrats, we are just getting started. We're expanding this world-class service to no fewer than 1,000 bank branches across the length and breadth of this country. And we will also shortly enable first-time smart ID applications and passport applications, as well as secure courier delivery. What that means is that instead of forcing you to stand in a long queue just to collect your own ID and passport at a faraway Home Affairs office, we are bringing your enabling documents right to your own doorstep. This is our vision to deliver Home Affairs at home in action. We are also building a cutting-edge digital ID system that will make your enabling documents accessible in digital format on your smartphone. Just like you already do with online banking, all of your information will be available at your fingertips, secured through biometric technology. And we are rebuilding with focus South Africa's immigration system from the ground up. Over the past 2 years, we have already deported nearly 110,000 illegal immigrants, an increase of 46% compared to 2023. The drones and body cameras deployed by the Border Management Authority have prevented hundreds of thousands more attempted illegal entries. Through the electronic travel authorization, we are using machine learning and biometric technology to drive tourism and economic growth and to bring an end to visa corruption and inefficiency once and for all. All of this work will be supported through the revised white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refugee protection that Cabinet has just approved. My fellow South Africans, the DA's work in the GNU across the 6 portfolios we manage proves that this party can fix what is seemingly unfixable. What we are doing is state building out of the ashes of state capture. So if you live in a broken municipality, and if you thought that your community's problems were unfixable, then I am here to deliver a message of hope to you. For the first time in our country's democracy, there is a party that has demonstrated at municipal, at provincial, and now at national level that it can fix the problems that others created and have long since given up on. That party is the Democratic Alliance. In the upcoming local government elections, if you want someone to fix your municipality, just like we are busy fixing Home Affairs, then there is only one thing to do: vote DA. Thank you.
La DA, la. Democrats, what Minister Leon Schreiber has outlined today is not just an isolated story. It is a much bigger shift taking place across government. Because when we entered the national government, we did not just find fault in one department. We found the state-weakened years of corruption, cadre deployment, waste, and decisions that put politics ahead of the people. But South Africans are not interested in excuses. They want results. They want a government that works. They want leaders that implement. And that is exactly what DA ministers and deputy ministers are doing in the government of national unity. Across every portfolio where the DA serves, there's a clear, consistent shift from dysfunction to delivery, from bureaucracy to efficiency, from corruption to accountability. The DA ministers and deputy ministers are hard at work ensuring that they put South Africa first. We are here to make government work. John Steenhuisen has proved and has shown what this looks like in agriculture, driving growth, supporting farmers, helping turn the sector into a stronger engine for jobs and economic opportunity. Dean McPherson is restoring agency in public works, pushing infrastructure delivery, strengthening oversight, and tackling waste corruption to that of public assets that must serve the people, not a connected few. Leon Schreiber is transforming home affairs Democrats, cutting queues, digitizing services, expanding access for smart IDs through our banks. Sivue Gwaribe has shown exactly what implementation looks like. She acted to stop a controversial nutrition tender worth 9.8 billion, protecting public funds and putting learners first. This is clean governance. Solimalazi is driving reform in the digital space, cutting red tape, advancing connectivity for all, ensuring that from rural to urban, she unlocks an ICT environment that supports innovation, inclusion, and jobs. Veli Okamp is strengthening environmental governance, protecting marine resources, small-scale fisheries, and working to unlock ocean economy while supporting sustainable growth. Democrats, Sello Sitsholo is focused on restoring accountability in water and sanitation, strengthening oversight, and ensuring that those that must supply water are held accountable. Samantha Graham-Murray is helping to accelerate energy reform, pushing for faster approvals, more generation capacity, and supports growth and reduces pressure on households and businesses. Alexander Abrams is driving advanced delivery in trade, industry, and competition. She's championing localization, supporting South African enterprises, and helping create the conditions for industry to grow. Dr. Mimi Gondwe is protecting students and strengthening higher education by taking action against bogus colleges and working to expand skills pathways to connect young people to real opportunities. Asha Sarupen is bringing discipline and accountability back to public finance. He has led the DA's fight against higher tax burdens and struggling South Africans. And in small business, I'm proud to say, we are cutting red tape, putting entrepreneurs first. We are pushing against harmful regulations. We are fighting to make it easier to do business in South Africa. That is why the DA has been at the center of pushing back against harmful taxes, resisting policies that make it harder to grow a business, and insisting that government decisions must support growth and not suffocate it. This is what the GNU looks like with the DA in it. No empty slogans, no endless excuses, no politics for politics' sake, but implementation. The DA is not just pointing out what is broken. The DA is in it and we are fixing it. We are rebuilding systems. We are restoring trust, and step by step, decision by decision, we are getting South Africa working. Hala, la DA, hala, la. Hala, la DA, hala, la.
And now, delegates, welcome South Africa's best premier, the man who leads the Western Cape government from strength to strength. It's Alan Windy!
And welcome to the stage, the provincial leader of the Democratic Alliance in the Western Cape, Tasha Simmons!
Molweni, goeiemorgen, good morning. Hello, Congress. Hello, Congress. Jeepers, the feeling in this room is electric. I've never felt so much optimism and hope at a Congress, and those of you watching from around the country, from Mzansi, I wish you could feel the energy. If you're not on the blue wave, now's the time to get on the blue wave. For me, yes, for me, it is an honor to be here at such a pivotal moment in South Africa's history. Our party is stronger and is in the best position to lead and run every and more local governments across the country. The election later this year will also position our party to become the biggest party in South Africa in 2029. Congress, just imagine a country, our country, so full of potential with a DA-led national government at the helm. It is time to believe. When the DA took over the Western Cape 17 years ago, we knew immediately that we had to get the basics right. We implemented transparent financial management. We attracted investors and supercharged the economy. We took a strong stand against corruption. And this exemplifies DA policy in action. In 2009, when the DA took over governing the Western Cape under the leadership of Helen Zille, we inherited an administration with zero clean audits. By 2015, clean audits became our brand, and trust developed with our residents. You see, good governance is the foundation of delivery and trust. And that's the DA difference. When Helen Zille becomes the mayor of Johannesburg later this year, I have no doubt that the same rapid change will happen in Jozi. Johannesburgers deserve a city that works and a government that cares, and Helen Zille will definitely deliver that government. Because when municipalities are led by DA mayors, just like Jordan in Cape Town, just like Stephen Korabi in Drakenstein, or Dirk Hotze in Mossel Bay, or all of those DA-run governments in the Western Cape, delivery improves, services get better, jobs are created, and life gets better. By the time I was elected as the Western Cape Premier in 2019, the foundation had been laid. And our job was to build on that foundation and deliver like never before. Congress, Mzansi, under the DA, we are building schools faster than any other province in South Africa. We can build a school of 500 learners in 100 days under the Rapid School Build program. And talking about education, in Khayelitsha, COSAT High School is one of the province's top performing physical science and math schools. Not in the leafy suburbs, in Khayelitsha. In Mitchell's Plain, where's Mitchell's Plain? In Mitchell's Plain, Spine Road High School is now in the top 10 schools with the greatest increase of bachelor passes, now sitting at 94%. Under the DA, we have built world-class hospitals and clinics across our province. Last year, we began the construction of 45 new health infrastructure clinics or projects, taking healthcare to every single corner of our province. Under the DA in the Western Cape, our team, we are the first to have robotic surgeries in our state hospitals, the first not only in South Africa, but on the African continent. We are leveraging artificial intelligence at our clinics across Khayelitsha to Grooterschuur. This enables us to use AI technology for early diagnosis and treatment for health conditions. We are at cutting-edge innovation in our province because of the DA. Under the DA in the Western Cape, we've been known to become a safer province because we use technology and innovation. We've deployed LEAP officers, but we've also been fighting for more and more policing powers. Because we've shown what we can do when we have power. Imagine what we can do if we've got policing powers. But Congress, under the DA, housing delivery outstrips any other metro in South Africa, with Cape Town delivering 200,000 homes in the last 5 years. But the most important for me is how a job changes your life. Under the DA, real jobs created. 400,000 of the new jobs in South Africa in the last 5 years, 360,000 come from one province, the Western Cape. That means for every 10 jobs created in South Africa in the last 5 years, 9 of them come from the Western Cape. And this is not just in the middle of the CBDs. If I think about the call center jobs, most of them come from Mitchell's Plain, Khayelitsha, Langa, and Delft. We stand, Democrats, at a watershed moment in South Africa's history. We must not accept anything other than absolute integrity and commitment. That has been what we have done in the Western Cape in order to be able to deliver DA policy. It is the foundation of what we do. So to everyone in this room, and to every DA member across this country, I say, embody the strongest set of values and integrity in how you live, in how you lead, in how you go about doing your various jobs within the DA, because that is how we build a strong future for our country. That is the hallmark of our party, the DA. Values-driven with great policy, and that is how we change South Africa. Viva DA. I look forward to the next election and 2029 when this party is going to take the feeling in this Congress and spread it from every single municipality, left to right. We are going to make the biggest difference in our country ever. I can feel it, catch the wave. We are getting South Africa working.
Fellow activists, colleagues, Democrats, but more importantly, fellow South Africans. We have heard earlier from Hanif what happens when government actually fails, when institutions are broken, when money is looted, when leadership collapses. It is the people who pay the price. It is die gewone mense wat die prys betaal. But today, we stand here to speak about actually what works. Because in the Western Cape, for 17 years, a DA provincial government has been building something different. For 17 jaar bou ons iets anders. Not overnight, not through slogans, but through consistent, committed governance over time. 17 jaar het nie per toeval gebeur in ons provinsie nie. Dit was 'n keuse. And the lesson is for South Africans must understand. Goeie regering gebeur nie oornag nie. Dit bou oor tyd. Good governance is not an event. It is a track record. To date, we have built roads that create opportunity. From the recently opened 693 million rand Malmesbury bypass, unlocking freight movement and regional growth, to the 540 million rand Louis Ferry road upgrade in process in Muscle Bay, improving safety and mobility for thousands of commuters. Dit is hoe ons groei ontsluit in die Weskaap. Over time, we have delivered housing, schools, and clinics that restore dignity. From inner city housing like Founders Garden, Leeuwloop and Prestwich, bring our people closer to opportunity, to new schools in communities like Sunningdale and Vredenburg, and clinics like Diasville, serving growing communities. Maar ons bou nie net infrastruktuur nie. Ons bou geleenthede vir al ons mense. Ek het onlangs met 'n plaaswerker in Vredendal gepraat en hy het gesê, vir die eerste keer in my lewe het ek 'n huis wat ek my eie kan noem. And that is what delivery means. It's not just about our projects, but the dignity made possible through those projects. And here is the difference. Where other parties govern for the next headline, we in the Western Cape will govern for the next generation. Ons bou vir môre, ons bou nie net vir vandag nie. And if you do not govern with discipline and commitment over time, believe me, you will not deliver. Fellow activists, this is why the DA story matters. Because it is not a promise, it is proof. Dit is nie beloftes nie, dis bewys. Because only the DA has shown over time that this is actually possible. But let us be honest, a DA majority means stable government. Waar koalisies beklei, stop dienslewering. Waar die DA regeer, gaan dienslewering aan. And South Africa cannot afford more instability, more collapse, more lost time. Because Democrats, 2026 is not just another election. For all of us, it is the foundation for 2029. 2026 is nie nooit nog 'n verkiesing nie. Because local government is where people experience government first. It is where services are delivered or where they collapse. Dit is waar vertroue gebou word of gebreek word. So if we want to win South Africa in 2029, we must win communities in 2026. As ons Suid-Afrika in 2029 wil wen, moet elke provinsie gemeenskappe in 2026 wen in hierdie kongres. We must govern more municipalities. We must stabilize more towns. We must expand delivery where people live, work and build their lives. Want dit is hoe ons 'n nasionale toekoms bou, deur plaaslike lewering. It is about taking what works and now scaling it. Dit gaan daaroor om te vat wat werk en te vat en dit groter te maak. It is about taking a proven track record and now turning it into a national future. Because that is how we have built the Western Cape. And that is how I believe we will build a better country. So let 2026 be the year we all take to ground. So that 2029 can be the year we take the country. And as I say to the Western Cape delegates, kompatu, siyabangena, masiyabambe. Let's get it done.
I am a mother. I am a father. I'm a daughter. I am a son. I believe in freedom. Freedom to earn a living. Go where I want. Love who I want. Say what I believe and pursue my dreams. I am brave. I am a provider. I believe in fairness. A fairness where our achievements are determined by our choices and hard work. I am a leader. I believe in opportunity. A nation where opportunity is plentiful and everyone's rights are protected. I believe in diversity. Every person has a unique perspective and an important role to play in building our nation. We do not judge each other by how we look, but by who we are. We are South Africans, working together. We are the Democratic Alliance.
Well, what an incredible morning has been here at the Democratic Congress in Johannesburg. I mean, the amazing performances we have just seen, the speeches we have just seen, it has been incredible. Welcome back to studio. I'm Donovan Nelson.
And I'm Delegates. Welcome back and continue following us on our social media platforms using hashtag DA Congress 2026. I mean, it was phenomenal. The performances, the singing, the speeches. I think we got to hear so much about what the DA is doing around the country to make, you know, service delivery happen and deliver and get South Africa working to every single resident out there and voter. So I think, you know, we can replicate this by actually going and checking our registration status at check.da.org.za, which is also so important. But we are also joined in studio by two important guests. We welcome Emma Powell, our Member of Parliament, and as well, our presiding officer, the second one for this Congress, Mama Bridget Masango. Welcome to studio. Mom Bridget, Emma, how are you feeling about today?
I am feeling so almost emotional. At the just the mood of the Congress. You know, people are seeing what the DA is about. That dose of seeing a party that is run in terms of values and principles of being democratic. We are showcasing what democracy is supposed to look like in a manner that this preparation up to this moment has just been people who want to do what the country is so yearning for in this Congress. I am too excited.
Come on.
And I mean, it's about freedom, fairness, and opportunity. And I think as a presiding officer, Mom Bridget has gotten to do all of that and preside over this Congress. Emma, what is your feeling about the opening ceremony that we just came from?
Well, I think that I'd echo my Bridget's sentiments. It's been deeply emotional. We have got Democrats from across our country gathered here today, from our most rural northern provinces to our bustling metropolises down south. And I think that the showcase of diversity here today really is a display of what the Democratic Alliance stands for, the diversity of our country. We're a party that represents all South Africans. I think that I really enjoyed the speeches from our outgoing federal leader, John Steenhuisen. I think that we as an organization have a huge amount to be grateful to John for. The choir, the national anthem, I always get tears in my eyes when we hear the national anthem. And just to see the spirit of South Africa in one room and what the DA does when we pull together, it's a remarkable day and it's going to be a remarkable weekend.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, there was one line in John's speech that really took me when he reminded us that 3 years ago at this very Congress, we made that offer to South Africans that we are ready to govern. We are ready to make sure that we can be part of the national government as well. What are some of your reflections from that speech, Mom Bridget, that stood out for you as well?
You know, this takes me back to when John came to being our leader, when he set out a very clear journey that he would like to take the democratic on. And one of the ones that I remember the most is the moonshot, where he said, he was even saying he sees us in the Union buildings.
Come on, man.
I mean, and it was a dream. And 3 years ago, it was a dream. It was something about the DA saying we are going to rescue South Africa. And today we are getting South Africa working, and we are part of government.
Absolutely. Ma'am Bridget, I want to come to Congress. What more can we expect from this weekend?
I promise you, this weekend, if you are a person who just wants to mingle and meet people from across the country, and you just want to hear the stories from other colleagues who come from other provinces, but if you're also a person who wants to see the amendments to the Constitution, the resolution, because the DA is getting bigger and bigger, and we need to move with the time.
Yes.
Because we didn't know in 2023 that we will be in government.
Wow.
So our policies and our constitution need to reflect. And so there is something for everyone. And that work started exactly a year ago when the preparation really started to say, what would we want to see, or what would we want South Africa to see? But most importantly, what would we want our delegates who work every day for this party?
Every single day.
Thank you, Ma'am Bridge.
Yes.
I mean, it's so important for us to just sit and reflect, and the transparency of how we run our Congress and the resolutions and everything that we go through. But Emma, I have to ask you this. How is voting going to go? How many trees have we killed to get voting underway?
Well, the answer to that question, Takaledi, is a total of 0.
Wow.
Because the DA, being the world-class party that it is, has in fact developed its own voting system, which is entirely online. It's called the Opa Vote system. And we've got more than 2,000 delegates here, as you know. And tomorrow morning, when voting opens, they will each receive a unique code. They can connect to the Wi-Fi that we've provided, and they can cast their ballot on their cell phone. Voting will close, of course, at 9 o'clock. We'll have the results announced, the big announcement of this weekend, around about 1, 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But it is incredible to see just this, when the DA puts its hands to the wheel, the systems that we've been able to develop. And it's a showcase of essentially what the DA is about. Innovation, delivery, and systems that work for ordinary people.
Absolutely. Well, Emma, thank you so much for joining us. Ma'am Bridget, thank you so much for all the hard work. 365 days ago, and now you've given birth to Congress 2026. Thank you so much for yourself and Varian as well. We're going to head back to Bax, the man on the ground. He's got some amazing guests over there for us as well. Bax, over to you, sir.
Today, Home Affairs is celebrating a historic milestone as we have gone live with our first set of bank branches that are operating under our new digital partnership model. What this means for you is that there will be hundreds of additional bank branches around the country. Begin a transformation in how South Africans experience Home Affairs services. This is a date to remember, the 9th of March 2026, because this is the day that Home Affairs begins to change forever. Today marks the beginning of the end of long queues at Home Affairs. Through this new digital partnership, we are dramatically expanding the number of safe, secure, and dignified locations where South Africans can access Home Affairs services. Therefore, accelerating the transition from the green ID book to the smart ID card strengthens the security of our national identity system and protects the identity of individual South Africans. This digital partnership model leaves no room for manipulation by any individual. Adding so many more service points, decentralizing access bringing these services closer to South Africans than they've ever had it before. We have far too few branches at the moment to reach all 63 million people of South Africa. That's why we are building on our partnership with the banking sector to get these services into hundreds more bank branches across South Africa. By partnering with South Africa's banking sector, and most importantly, by going digital first, we are introducing a whole new experience for South Africans where Home Affairs comes to you. Instead of traveling huge distances to reach your local office, standing in long queues, dealing with paperwork, Home Affairs is coming ever closer to where you live. We are going to be expanding this branch and what we saw here today and the 17 branches that are going live this week to hundreds of branches across South Africa, making sure that you have access to secure services to deliver dignity to you like never before.
DA at Work, rescuing South Africa.
Ratings Africa says the state of South Africa's municipalities, with the exception of the Western Cape, is on the brink of financial collapse. From the non-maintenance of buildings and potholed roads to being unable to get the most basic of services such as water and electricity. Experts say aging infrastructure and lack of maintenance are a big part of this problem.
The country, of course, has been experiencing water challenges, with some communities not receiving clean drinking water for weeks on end.
Clearly, it shows that the infrastructure was never maintained since the ANC government has taken over.
Tell them, one of them, to live with us for one day and then see if they're going to survive. But we have to survive.
Corruption is a massive problem in South Africa.
Lots of tenders, lots of kickbacks, lots of dodgy deals.
We are now seeing the consequences of corruption.
The increasing cost of living continues to take a toll on South Africans.
And it's going to get even worse.
South Africa ranked as one of the most dangerous countries in the world.
The latest crime stats suggest South Africa is a crime scene.
The unemployment rate is at a record high.
Around 16.9 million people of working age are without jobs as we speak.
The government that South Africans vote for into power to handle service delivery cannot adequately and sustainably manage all these spheres of local government and municipalities.
Why do you think the government is not doing anything when there is so much at stake for this country?
For decades, the Democratic Alliance has led the fight to get South Africa working. Our roots stretch back to 1959, when Helen Zille's Progressive Party stood up against the apartheid regime. That tradition carried forward through the Democratic Party, which helped shape South Africa's constitution, and in 2000 became the Democratic Alliance, built to be a strong opposition, to protect our democracy and to offer South Africans a real alternative by becoming a party of government. That mission has never changed. In opposition, the DA has been relentless. We have fought corruption. We have exposed abuse of power. We have pushed back for accountability. And we have stood up for the rule of law when others looked away. From the fight for antiretrovirals during AIDS denialism, to the long battle for Zuma's spy tapes, to accountability for the Life Esidimeni tragedy, and the pressure that helped bring about the Zondo Commission into state capture, the DA has never stopped fighting for the truth. We have fought for service delivery in broken municipalities. We have fought in councils for fairness and in provincial legislatures against grand-scale corruption. We have fought and we keep fighting. An army of DA councillors in every corner of our country who put residents first, who care deeply, who never give up. Today, millions of South Africans live in DA-run governments. The Western Cape is the best-run province in South Africa. The city of Cape Town is the best-run metro in South Africa. DA-led administrations continue to show that where the DA governs, Government works. And now, for the first time in our history, the DA is a party of national government, because this party was built to serve, to lead, and to get South Africa working. And very few people have done more to build that story than the woman we honor now. A pillar of our success, a fierce defender of our values, a leader of uncommon courage. She spoke when others stayed silent. She stood firm when others stepped back. And time and again, she inspired the party to aim higher, fight harder, and believe in itself. South Africa knows her as a fighter for freedom. The DA is proud to call her one of our own. She is also mother to Paul and Thomas, wife to Profi, grandmother to Mila and Francois. She is our favorite Gogo, and to many, a godmother of South African democracy. The outgoing chairperson of Federal Council, former leader of the Democratic Alliance, former premier of the Western Cape, former World Mayor of the Year, and DA mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome Helen Zille.
And I think Bax needs to go find Kevin Milan, because the amount of electric energy in this room, I mean, there's probably more energy here ever than the entire Kalahari covered in solar panels.
I mean, it's crazy up in here. Everybody is like up and about.
Yep.
You know, the mood of Congress is exactly that. Everybody has registered. Everybody has got their packs. They are ready to vote. And we heard amazing speeches.
Absolutely.
From a lot of DA public representatives who are going out there, making a difference and getting South Africa working. And I mean, we had great performances as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know I was dancing to Karen Zoid, so I hope our panelists are doing this. We're doing the same. But I am going to introduce who our panelists are going to be with us for this segment. We have Emma Powell, Member of Parliament, who is back. We have our studio buddy, Kabela Mokhatutsi from the Eastern Cape Legislature. And let's just reflect on everything that we just got to see in that opening ceremony.
Yes.
Emma?
Well, I think for me, it's the outfits.
Come on.
They are spectacular. I'm sure that the cameras will pan to the audience so that those at home can see. We have some spectacular dress-ups here. I loved the choir performance, Karen Zoid. It's incredibly emotional, actually, because you have 2,000 people and 500 special guests standing on their feet, singing together, dancing together, clapping together, and brought together by their deep love for this country. And the diversity on showcase here is spectacular. I really loved the Amgeni Mayor Chris Pappas' speech. He has turned a failing municipality around in such a short space of time, and it's a showcase of what the DA does when we go into government. But we're all tired. It's been a long week of prepping, but being here, the energy is just so rejuvenating.
It's a restart to the entire system.
Yeah.
KB?
Yeah, I think for me, when we sing Amagwijo, you know, when we had that Gwijo that says, Sekusele kancane, you know, it takes me back again to our 2024 election campaign when we said to people on the ground, and we said, we only have just a little, let's push a little bit more, and we're almost there. And I feel the same energy because, remember, this Congress is committing us into coming up with policies that is going to get South Africa working. And that song is very significant because Sekusele kancane, so that we can get South Africa working. But for me as well, Uvusinova, because I mean, not because I'm from the Eastern Cape.
Listen, but I was sad that it's only one song. I was like, come on,
I actually did one more as well.
Because I'm thinking Aspelelanga, because in as much as this is the biggest Congress ever, we still have so many millions of South Africans who are DA supporters.
Absolutely.
But luckily they are watching us through our social media. And so asiphelelanga langa. But from the speeches, as Emma says, you know, you get municipalities, and a lot of people used to say, no, it's just the Western Cape. They are lucky, and they will make excuses. But we are starting to realize that everywhere, it doesn't matter, even if you put a DA government in a sea of failure of a province like Eastern Cape, you are going to see progress in those municipalities. And it's not because of anything. It is because of our sets of policies that Christopher Papas has with him and the mandate that has been given by these congresses like this or gatherings like this. So for me, it shows that we are able to take the Kouga story in the Eastern Cape, the Umgeni story, and take it anywhere across South Africa.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, South Africans also would have seen or heard John's speech as well. And what a profound moment of Congress where, you know, he stands up and he says, this will be my final speech. Emma, reflect with me for a second just on that legacy and what John means to this political party.
Well, I think that everybody here today would agree that we owe John a deep gratitude of thanks. In 2019, when our former leader walked off the job, John stood up, put his hand up for interim federal leader. He was then elected with an overwhelming majority, twice over 80% of delegates here put their faith in John. And as he said at Federal Council, he said only one generation of DA leaders would get to lead us into national government, and that was this generation. And it was under his stewardship that the DA went from a party of national opposition to a party of government.
Thank you so much, Emma. It seems like Bax is ready to have fun there on the Congress floor, so we are going to head to the man on the ground. Bax, over to you.
Thank you so much, Double D, for doing that. And there was a lovely opening ceremony right here. We had Vusi Nova, Karen Zoid, some performances from the choir. It was absolutely electric environment, and we're obviously going to go down to work. But we need to unpack that massive opening ceremony. And I'm joined by none other than the Northwest Provincial Leader, Freddie Sonagile. Freddie, welcome to the live broadcast right here at the Gallagher Convention Center in Gauteng, where the ground is shaking because the Democratic Alliance wants to get South Africa working. How do you feel this morning?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be here, to be part of history, to be seeing all these diverse people in one room from different areas. It's very exciting.
Amazing. I mean, Freddie, there were many performances that happened today, but also listen to some leader speeches delivering a solid message. What do you take away from what was said this morning?
I think Bax One has to first appreciate those performances. It was amazing. Having Vusi Nova, Karen Zoid in one place, those performances were amazing. But from the messages, you know, when you listen to what John was saying, normally when leaders, when they have to come to the end of the term, they will tell you that it is the end, I'm taking a bow. He's saying that he's going to be an activist. He's going to be joining us on the ground. He's going to be with us and part of us right where he started. When you listen to Helen is saying that I've been here for years, now it's time to pass the baton. It's also a test for the party because now, if you look at all the delegates and the candidates who are vying for positions, it's young people. So we are, as a party now, getting to check whether the investment that we made, be it via Young Leaders Program or whatever, whether was it good investment. And it's a very good test because South Africa, it shows that we are ready to govern and always prepared to give others a chance.
I mean, everybody here is obviously is excited to go and find out after tomorrow who are the next leaders of the Democratic Alliance for the next 3 years. And I mean, everyone is going to be voting tomorrow morning, but what is your feeling about that? What do you want to see in the future moving forward, and what do we need to do?
I think first, Bax, it shows the internal democracy that we have. We are competing with parties that never go to any conferences. We compete with parties that go to conferences and end up fighting. Ours is very organized. But in future, it says that we must keep on investing on young people. If you look at the delegates, if you look at the people, for the first time, very young people are coming coming up. It shows that the DA is doing something right, and we must invest on that.
Look, I mean, right now we're busy dealing with constitutional amendments as we speak. I mean, what is the importance of us having a constitution that works internally for the party, and what does that mean for South Africa?
It shows that we are a party of constitution, that a party of the rule of law, which shows that we also move with the times. Remember, Bucks, we are into this Congress for the first time being part of government. So obviously some of the things that we've been saying, some of the things that we might have said 5 or 4 years back are no longer relevant now. So we need to go back and revisit some of the decisions and say, are they still relevant to today's world and to what the DA wants without necessarily tapping onto our values?
Oh, well, let's get down to business. As you know, we are busy with constitutional amendments. You've heard it right here from the DA Northwest Provincial Leader, Freddie Sonagile. There's so much more that's going to happen at this Congress, not only just seeing performances and speeches, but we're going to be taking decisions that are going to be changing South Africans' lives for the better. Our mission is to get South Africa working. But for us to do that, you need to go to check.da.org.za to make sure that you are registered correctly to vote so that we can get your municipality working again. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back at 2 o'clock.
Municipalities that do best are not ANC-controlled municipalities. They are often DA-controlled municipalities. What is it that they are doing that is better than what we are doing?
South Africa was named Best Country, while its iconic city of Cape Town claimed the prestigious title of Best City in the World.
The city says it's determined to invest in critical infrastructure to improve the lives of residents.
The city will spend more on infrastructure in the next few years than Johannesburg and Durban combined.
More than 8 billion rand will go to new or upgraded infrastructure in poorer communities.
Most of our local municipalities are in tatters. They are heavily indebted and badly run. Midvaal, local municipality in the Vaal, has been one of a very few exceptions in the country.
The Midvaal municipality is working on ditching power utility Eskom and replacing it with a private company instead.
The municipality of Midvaal has been ranked first in clean audits and satisfactory service delivery for years running. It has consistently outperformed most of the municipalities in the province and indeed municipalities around the country.
The South African Local Government Association in KwaZulu-Natal has commended Umgeni municipality for what it said is effective use of the municipal infrastructure grant. In 6 months, it managed to spend the 24 million rand allocation on various projects such as roads, storm water, and finishing all the projects that had been poorly managed before.
The Kouga municipality is fighting crime with the creation of a high-tech intelligence center that helps monitor CCTV cameras and license plate recognition.
The Kouga municipality has also taken further steps to ensure public safety by launching an app for residents. In case of emergencies, the app directly links the user to the monitoring center.
It is a privilege to announce that George Municipality has achieved its 4th consecutive clean audit from the Auditor General of South Africa. This is a significant milestone that reflects our ongoing commitment to clean, transparent and accountable governance.
The West Coast District Municipality has officially been named South Africa's best-run municipality for 2025. 2 of its local municipalities, Saldanha and Swartland, were tied for first place as the top-performing local municipalities in the country.
These are the issues you're going to be considering as you go to the polls. Who is the party that can help us achieve better service delivery where I live?
The Western Cape government is currently pushing ahead to mitigate power cuts. The province has installed numerous solar panels to harness green energy. And Saldanha Bay, Stellenbosch, George, as well as the city of Cape Town are already using independent power producers to reduce reliance on Eskom.
To enable further job-creating economic growth, officials are investing 43 billion rand in infrastructure over 3 years.
7 out of 10 young people in the country are unemployed, but in the Western Cape, 8 out of 10 people have jobs.
sometimes I look at the numbers and I almost have to pinch myself. It's like it's unbelievable. 64.9% of all jobs in South Africa in the last 5 years are one province.
Some of the biggest global companies are expanding its operations in the Western Cape.
The Democratic Alliance in KwaZulu-Natal is now aiming to grow the party and take on the ANC head-on.
They actually outlined their plans for the province in terms of service delivery as well as governance.
The common denominator in KwaZulu-Natal is quite simply building a capable and ethical state.
Since I've taken office, we've cut our debt from 800 million to 300 million. We've done a full audit of all the properties, found over 500 properties the department didn't even know it owned. We've put in place a rapid response team that now responds within 24 hours to problems, no longer the 30 days that previously was the record of the department. So things are happening in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
We are seeing very positive developments since the formation of the Government of National Unity.
International investors are seeing this. They see that there is a seriousness and a commitment, and they like it.
And you know what the DA ministers have been doing. They have been taking interviews. They have been performing.
Dean McPherson, Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, says the real infrastructure problems and crisis resides in local government, and his department's implemented ways to solve these problems at the local government level.
I want us to be a department that South Africa is proud of, that we're using public assets for public good, and that we're turning this country into a construction site.
Minister of Forestry, Fisheries as well as the Environment, Philip Okamp, is currently briefing members of the media on the damage that was caused by floods at the Kouga National Park.
I'm so proud to say that I'm part of this team. Everybody worked so hard to firstly get people to safety, that proactively worked to really make the best out of a really very devastating situation.
Okamp has extended the West Coast rock lobster season for a month. The department says it's committed to working with small-scale fishers and to save livelihoods in the sector.
The Home Affairs Department has this week announced that it has partnered with 5 major banks as the department aims to reduce the waiting times, strengthen security, and be efficient.
I think if we can demonstrate over a period of time that things can get better, even at a place like Home Affairs, we have the potential here to really restore hope that South Africa itself can actually get better.
Minister of Communication and Digital Technologies, Solly Malatsi, says his department has launched a digital transformation roadmap to establish a single digital identity for South Africans to access all government services.
Basic Education Minister Cyril Kwahobe has reiterated her department's commitment to eradicating pit latrines at schools across the country.
The Ministry of Basic Education is launching a transformative campaign to expand access to quality early childhood development. Well, the aim is to register 10,000 ECD centres this year to ensure every child up to the age of 5 benefits from early education.
Agricultural Minister John Steenhuisen says South African exports have not only remained competitive, but have increased to $161 million.
South Africa has regained market access for the exportation of apples to Thailand. The market has been closed for about 16 years due to changes in requirements by the trading partner.
Minister John Steenhuisen says vaccines are already being distributed across provinces. There's a national campaign underway vaccinating livestock against foot and mouth disease.
Farmers and farm workers are our country's greatest asset, and it's very, very important that everyone involved in the sector, from a farm worker to a large commercial farmer, feels that they have a department that is on their side and speaking out for them.
John Steenhuisen says his party now has a meaningful role to play in the reconstruction of the country.
Our responsibility is to now meet the challenge of the hour and to help turn South Africa around.
But I want to also be clear that what we will not do is to shy away from conflict when we are confronted with serious and lasting damage to our country or its constitution, or the things that underpin our democracy.
Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana has dropped a controversial value-added tax increase. His decision comes as South Africa's second biggest party, the Democratic Alliance, threatened to leave the governing coalition over their VAT increase.
The Democratic Alliance has described the court decision as a victory for all South Africans.
The DA's
court intervention was the pivotal intervening factor that has enabled the people of South Africa to come out victorious and to show them why their vote really mattered.
It also shows us the GNU starting to function as it should. One party does not now get to dictate a decision for the collective.
It's another positive outcome for the Democratic Alliance in terms of them showing that their ministers are going to do the work. They are in this particular coalition to do good work and quality work. And the ANC, their ministers were already complaining that the DA ministers are making them look bad. They're going to have to pull up their socks.
It's now up to the next generation of leadership to ensure that the DA continues to do so with ever-growing confidence for many, many more years to come, so that we can deliver to the country of our dreams and deliver this country to all of our children.